Okay, and it looks like we're live. Sorry about that, I had a hiccup starting stream. I hadn't streamed in a while, and looks like I had to change my my stream code. I didn't realize that until after I had already tried to stream. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, today we're going to be hopping back into Lucid9. It's been quite some time indeed. But, though I've forgotten some things, you know, it's a very interesting game. I do like it a lot, so I think that it shouldn't be too hard to get back into. So, without further ado, let's continue, shall we? Thankfully, when I arrived, Yahiko immediately waves me over, face cheerily shining. Have a seat, my loyal minion. Today's special is baby back ribs. I can see that from your plate. You can divine stuff from my plate? Look into my love life fortune. He's acting awfully normal. Did he already forget that he's supposed to be 2,000 years into the future? Just eat. Well, I suppose I'll let it slide this time. But a master is supposed to command his minions, not the other way around. Exactly. What? Nothing. I glance around the cafeteria as I start on my own plate. I recognize quite a few faces. Natsuki and Elizabeth surrounded by groupies. Masato and a few track members. Akira and a few drama club members. Rui's absent, probably speaking to Mr. Ryota on my behalf. Misaki too, though I rarely see her around outside of class. And in the corner, eating alone, is Irie. She seems to be satisfying herself with her own plate of ribs. Those are ribs? Looks like she has a peach. Something about the picture looks empty, lonely. Say, that gives me an idea. So, how's it been with the ladies? Need you even ask? Fantabulous, of course. Would you mind teaching this humble... I'm sorry, Miss Yama. Would you mind teaching this humble servant your ways? I thought you'd never ask. But why now? I try to wave off his question by gesturing in Irie's direction. So, how about her? Ah, someone's caught your eye, have they? His eyes flicker in Irie's direction. I expect him to coo about how adorable she is, how lovely her hair is, how perfect her nose or chin or whatever is. But he only pauses, his brow furrowed in confusion. Huh. What is it? She looks kind of familiar. Like, really familiar. Ordinarily, I'd think he's crafting a pickup line, but his bewilderment seems genuine. Where do you see her? I have no clue. Eventually, he just shrugs off this with an easygoing grin. Well, my good minion, we shouldn't be wasting time. Watch and learn from the great master. Well, guess it's not important. I'm sure it's important. As always, it would be an honor to see your spectacular techniques. I know, right? You should be grateful I'm not making you pay tuition for such enlightening lessons. Well, they're certainly enlightening, but probably not in the way he's thinking. I bet the number of girls you've seduced is uncountable. You got that right. Well, technically, 0 is uncountable. First lesson, my dear apprentice. Never waste time. Are they eating? Great. Depressed and withdrawn? Fantastic. Saying they want to be alone? Perfect. Love waits for nobody, Yama. Remember that. I can't help but chuckle at just how terrible his advice is. By any chance, have you gotten slapped? Oh yeah, all the time. Why is he saying that like it's a badge of honor? You see, evoking a strong reaction means that you've touched the young lady's heart. The line between love and hate is thinner than... I'm sorry. The line between love and hate is thinner than the line between love and apathy. That's why the most important thing is to make a big impression. That's unusually perceptive. Okay. 1 second, sorry about this. Oh, didn't mean to hit backlog. Okay, sorry about that. On that note, we're wasting time. There's an adorable lass to seduce. Yahiko promptly skips over to Irie, eyebrows raised in a flirtatious attack. Hey, how does it feel to be the most beautiful girl in the room? Looks like the Ikari is already hitting hard. How will his opponent respond? It's not very effective. Can I see your uniform tag? I gotta see if you were made in heaven. Oh my god. Critical hit. A spectacular hit! How will the last dodge out of this one? China. Huh? The uniforms are made in China. Ikari staggers back from the fatal counter. Well, I mean... It seems he's in a state of shock. The last seizes this opportunity for an offensive maneuver. Your food. What? Will you eat it? Hey, what are you doing to my ribs? It's a critical hit. The last's bold move has paralyzed Ikari. You're gonna get fat if you eat so much. I'm 102 pounds. You're what? But you can't be that short. 5 feet 2 inches. It's super effective. Ikari is silenced. The last spends her free turns munching at her newly acquired meal. It's sort of adorable. Like a baby hamster munching it. But anyway, back to the match. Ikari studies the last for a moment, no doubt attempting to analyze any potential weak points. This girl's a tough one. Usually I don't allow things like this, but... Yama, why don't you give it a shot? Nah, I'm just the commentator of this battle. What? Nothing. Thankfully, Ikari decides to switch his attention from the lowly commentator back to his original target. Why aren't you responding? You should be honored that someone like me is paying attention to someone like you. Don't tell me. You don't swing that way? I'm straight. A clean hit at his vital point. It's looking bad for Ikari. Then why? The last merely finishes up Ikari's ribs and moves on to her own. Are you a witch who took some weird potion to resist me? Why are you unaffected by my charms? Ikari has gone berserk. He's attempting wild haymaker. Stop ignoring me! Ah, forget it! You're just like other commoners. You don't deserve being seduced by a superior being like me. Answer me when I'm talking to you. My meat is getting cold. What an amazing display of indirect trash-talking. The lass has placed Ikari below some humble baby-back ribs. You... Ikari hurt himself in his confusion. Thanks for the Pokemon reference. Meanie? Bully? I'll have my revenge, I tell you! Revenge! And Ikari exits the ring. Automatic forfeit. Instant KO. Nothing. As Irie finishes up the meat on her plate, I settle into the chair next to her. It's hard to tell from the stoic expression on her face, but she seems a little happier than a few moments ago. Do you want my ribs? Didn't you eat them all? I did. Then why did you offer? Then why are you here? At the very least, she's more open than when I met her yesterday. I'm sitting. Sitting is nice. Her expression doesn't even budge. Sitting makes the world go round. And sitting is good for you. It's bad for you. Her sudden response catches me off guard. What? Well, at least she's talking to me. That's a start. How can sitting be bad for you? Higher risk in obesity, high cholesterol, lower back pain, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. She says so monotonously. So monotonously that I can't tell whether she's joking or deathly serious. But sitting doesn't cause that, right? Irie evaluates me for a moment, before she only returns to her food without a word. I'm searching for a different topic to discuss when she abruptly speaks again. What's your name? Yama. Yama Ishimoto. You're not gonna comment on it? You know, it's an unusual name. Not like Lagrange... Lamparade? Lorange Lamprod. That's probably not how you say that. As in from Code Deuce? You know it? Vaguely? It's a fairly popular series among young adults, but I'm surprised that someone like her would know about it. Well, next to Lagrange Lamprod, there can't be many strange names. Irie only reaches into her backpack and begins to munch on a peach. I knew it was a peach! For a moment, I pick at my ribs in silence, but she speaks again. What's your deuce? My what? Deuce. Special power. I'm not sure where she's going with this, but I guess I might as well follow her. My special power is creating sardines out of thin air. Canned or fresh? Excuse me. Allergies are bothering me a little bit. Blech. She doesn't seem fazed in the slightest. Both? So freshly canned? I guess? Make some now. Sardines? Of the many weird situations I've encountered over the course of my short life, this might just take the top. She's joking, right? Sure. I flourish my hand and tap the table. There, sardines. That's a table. What was she expecting to see? Actual spontaneous materializations of freshly canned sardines? You know I can't actually make sardines out of thin air, right? You said you could. Either she's better at trolling than I am, or she really wasn't joking. I wasn't serious. Then why did you say it? I'm too baffled by her thought process to make an intelligible reply. Hey, Lucas. The peach looks like a butt. It's true. Oh, it's damn true. How you doing today? Sorry, let me pop the chat out. Pop out chat. Okay, now I'll be able to see it more easily. Okay. Thankfully, Irie only returns to nibbling at her peach, as if she never asked the question. The awkward silence is punctuated by the signature school bell, an opportunity that I take with gratitude. Doing fine, thankfully. Or thank you. Man, I can't read already. How are you doing besides the allergies, of course? I'm pretty good, aside from that. Just hopping back into Lucid9. It's been too long. Well, see you. She blinks widely at me. My name is Irie Haraga. Okay. That was abrupt. I didn't tell you before. She suddenly stands, picks up her tray, and strides to the opposite side of the cafeteria to dump her dishes. Well, that was random. What an eccentric girl. Unless by telling me her name, she was trying to say she trusted me. Or, like, she'd like to become friends. Maybe she has some kind of mental disability that inhibits her social functions. She's offbeat, but interesting. I can see why she became the scapegoat. It's likely that the other students are scared by her unorthodox behavior. Just because she's different, she becomes the bad guy. They should know better. They should give her a chance. Afternoon classes are another dreary pass. This time, even Yahiko is sullen, staring into his desk and murmuring nonsensical words under his breath. I enjoy this, it's like story time, so I'll probably stay quiet and just listen to you. Hey, feel free to lurk, Lucas. This is reading time with Zwei. I'm glad you enjoy it. The moment the bell rings, Masato blazes into the classroom and lunges for me. I instinctively crawl beneath the desk, bracing myself for the full measure of his fury. You! I glance around the classroom. Yahiko is staring blankly at Masato. Elizabeth is, once again, immersed in conversation with her groupies. Misaki is... Misaki. I wave frantically in her direction, but she's too immersed in her phone to pay me any heed. Yay, indeed. You know how many days you've skipped track? So that's what this is about. I was like, did I forget something important about their conflicts? Anyway. 3? Wrong! The answer is too many. Hey look, I've been busy. Like hell you been. Busy with what? Napping? Eating? Thinking? Ugh, he's got a point. You disappoint me, man. Yeah? Join the club. Damn it! Just stop ditching. Well, I don't blame him. Ruby strides into the room. She hesitates when she sees Misaki, but shakes it off in the blink of an eye. What makes you say that, eh? Well, you know, all you talk about is track. Yama's probably tired of hearing about it by now. But I don't just run. I can swim too, and do basketball. She ignores him, and the approaching Misaki, and gently smiles at me. Excuse me again. Don't worry, Mr. Ryota says that you're not in trouble. Mr. Ryota? Why would... Oh right, Shoji, the fight. Having to do with Irie. But that's not what's important right now. She has to save me from Masato. Oh, crap. Sorry, the compressor for my AC unit just turned on. Let me actually turn this off. It's super hot, but the room is actually cool right now, so for a couple of hours it won't be too bad, hopefully. So, less background noise. Good thing, good thing. But that's not what's important right now. She has to save me from Masato. Say, Rui, don't you think it's awfully late and we should be... But Misaki rushes in front of me, reaching for Rui's hands. Rui, I need to speak to you about... Rui only steps back from both of us, staring blankly at Misaki. Why won't you listen? I told you the other day to leave me alone. It's you who isn't listening. She whips around on one heel and marches out of the room. Ah, shack it. Shack it? This too ill to deal great? And is my brain fried? What is... Huh? Wait, what did you just... Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. But she flies past me and sprints out of the room, right on Rui's heels. Thanks, Lucas. Even though you said no need to reply. Masato stares wordlessly back at her back, mouth agape. That girl, Miyazaki, she was talking street? That street? Oh, well, I guess I'm as white as they come, so I wouldn't know, right? Talking what? Nothing. Ain't nothing. Wait, did you understand her? Hang it! You're changing the subject again, ain't you? What? Me? No. You gotta come to track, man. I'll drag you there myself. Time to resort to drastic measures, since I was ditched by everyone. Actually, where did Yahiko go? Huh, that's weird. Well, what's it gonna be? Oh, would you look at the time? I gotta go. Don't do it, man. Don't... And I promptly run for my life, lunging over desks and chairs, bowling down the hallway. There's only one safe place from being bulldozed by his fury. One place that can be a haven for a refugee. I slam my fist against the door, ignoring the bewildered stares of passing students. Mr. Ryota! Mr. Ryota! Open up before I die! Ah, dagnabbit, kid! Why do you always have to interrupt me in the middle of a battle? Nevertheless, the door creaks open. I jump in and kick it shut, twisting the lock with what may or may not have been a little more force than necessary. Mr. Ryota is staring at me with eyebrows lifted and mouth slightly agape, no doubt taking in my unkempt mass of hair and sweat beading on my forehead. 1 second. First a fight, now running from someone? You just love trouble today, don't you, kid? Probably more like trouble loves me. Now, kid, important life lesson. Trouble only finds people who are looking for it. That, my friend, is bullshit. So basically, I deserve everything that happens to me. Ah, I didn't say that. It's just that sometimes people who want nothing more in life than to go through, do nothing significant, and pass on in peace, well, they actually want a whole lot more. I don't understand. Well then, maybe we should all talk about something else. I hesitantly take my seat and glance over my shoulder. No sign of the marvelous Masa. Since you're here, I guess we better have a proper session. Why are you being chased, Too popular with the girls? As if. It was Masato Kuragane. He loves track. And I don't. So he's trying to change that. And I presume it's not working out so hot for you. Yeah, you could say that. Actually, it seems like Masato's always been on my case because of track. Even the time we first met. Ah, flashback. Well, it was at last year's club recruitment day. I remember hating that time. Well, to be fair, I hated everything. But especially club recruitment day. No matter how quiet and insignificant I tried to be, someone would always call me out every minute. They tried to get me to join the language club, or music club, or art club, or even squirrel watching club. Squirrel watching club. Niche within a niche. As you can imagine, by the time I met Masato, I wanted nothing to do with clubs, especially from someone who, frankly speaking, looked like a stereotypical idiot jock. Hey, you! But contrary to popular belief, I actually did have some semblance of manners. So I stopped and turned to address this bothersome kid. Not interested. I expected some fake smile or even some pleading, but to my shock, the guy immediately pulled back his fist and socked me right in the face. And that's how we became friends. Ow, what the hell? Don't give me that bull. I ain't even said anything yet. Awful rude of you to not even give me a chance. You know what you call that? Uncivilized. I'm uncivilized? You're the one who just punched me. Ah, you big baby. That wasn't even a gentle tap. The terrible thing was, it looked like he was completely serious about it. To be honest, I briefly entertained the thought that he was part of an abusive household or something. Of course, the guy took my thoughtful silence for penitence and steamed on ahead. That's more like it. Name's Masato. Masato Kuragane. What's yours? Leaving. You're leaving? Yeah, right now. Call me rude, but I was at my breaking point. Getting a fish straight to the nose wasn't exactly welcoming. I might have admired this guy's courage and utter disregard for social niceties, but other than that, he bugged me. A lot. Ah, I see what you did there. But you can't leave. Not before you join track. Track? Hell yeah, our club, man. It binds you for life, makes you sweat, gives you pain, stretches your physical constitution till you think you're gonna die. If this guy thought that was a great sales pitch, he had a long ways to go. Yeah, not interested. That ain't all, man. Track could save your life, just like it saved mine. Saved his life? Yeah, right. Good for you. Ain't it? Track's literally a lifesaver, man. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, where you going? I'm just getting to the best part. I cried on the inside, but patiently nodded my head. If you get good enough, you can get a scholarship. This place don't come cheap, you know. Even a little amount would help your parents. Things were beginning to make sense. Give me just 1 second, guys. I just saw your message as I was coming back, Lucas. You don't need to be sorry. I appreciate it. Humor's so bad it's good. Please end this awkward pause. I'm sorry, I really am sorry. He got his life back on track, though. Okay. Things were beginning to make sense. Is this why you're in track? Come to think of it, you still haven't told me your name. Interestingly enough, I found I was actually beginning to like this guy. At least he wasn't superficial like everyone else. If anything, he was the opposite. He wore his heart on his sleeve. Besides, I needed something to do while Rui was in drama. What else was I going to join? Art? Dance? Squirrel watching? I'm Yama. Yama Ishimoto. Huh? What kind of name is that? My parents like poetry. No way! Oh gosh, he was probably going to rant about how poetry and literature is a waste of time. Who's their favorite? Matsuo Bashoa? Kobayashi Issa? Or maybe foreign guys like Edgar Allan Poe or William Shakespeare? What the? You like poetry? Of course I do. Poetry is the manliest way to cry. This guy only got stranger. What about literature? Manliest way to hate people. It's to hate people. Science? Manliest way to take stuff apart. Math? Manliest way to put stuff together. History? Manliest way to predict the future. I like this dialogue. By any chance, what are your grades? Average of 99. No way. The highest class average I ever had was a 92. This guy was smarter than me? I don't understand you at all. It's okay, you don't need to. You just gotta join track. On second thought, I didn't think he was smarter. He just studied harder. Still, it took guts, and passion, and everything I didn't have. Okay, I'll try it out. But only for a little bit. Ha! I knew you'd come around. Come on, let's get to the track. Already? Don't you have other unfortunate souls to recruit? Nah, the others will take care of them. Let's go. After all, you're the main character. And that was how I met Masato. I was never really a regular track member, but for some reason he always wanted me to be. Even now, I don't really understand why. He probably just wants to help people become their best. Then why would he pick me? Me, when there's so many people who would love track, and running, and competitions, and all that crap. Isn't that the whole point of picking you? Because I'm useless, so turning me into somebody useful means a lot? Nah, because you're a challenge. That was the manliest way of persuasion. Indeed, Lucas. Indeed. You know, that doesn't exactly make me feel any better. Why not? You should feel very, very loved. Oh, I do. A bit too loved. Masato probably sees you like a little cousin or a younger brother. Do you know that? What? Masato does? Why would he do that? You know, kid, sometimes there are just nice people in the world and you shouldn't question it. And sometimes there are ulterior motives behind everything. Masato Kuragane? Ulterior motives? Well, that's true, I guess. It's not like Masato would fake anything. But it still doesn't make any sense. Why would he choose me, a random stranger, as his little brother? To be honest, I've usually thought of Masato as my little brother, since he's, you know, kind of obtuse and not cynical and embittered by the world. Something like that. A kind of innocence. Maybe you shouldn't be asking why your friends love you, Yama. Maybe you should be looking for ways to return that love, instead of looking for ways to deserve it. I sounded really cool, didn't I? I'm leaving. Ah, come on, kid, that was good. Admit it. I admit it. I'm still leaving. He only chuckles and slaps a hand on my shoulder. Have a good day, kid. I like it. I only nod wordlessly in response as I step out of his office. My throat almost feels clogged, as if I had heard something that I really, really needed to hear. Huh. Maybe these meetings really are a good thing. Wah! Move those legs, you filthy maggots! Move them double time! What the heck? My sentiments exactly. I peer around, searching for the source of the noise, and find Akira racing around the entrance, a large lumpy backpack slung over her shoulders. Ah, gosh, I forget who she is. She's a roommate of somebody? Elizabeth, maybe? Oh gosh, I can't remember. It's been too long. Oh, Sarge, please, pretty please. I've been running 6 miles. I swear, I'm gonna collapse. I shouldn't be able to hear you over the sound of your tears, Private. Hop to it. Kira? I gingerly step in front of her and wave to catch her attention. She grinds to a halt, tilting her head curiously at me. What are you doing here? I'm here for the drama club, of course. Or no, she's Rui's friend, right? Yeah, because they're both in drama club. Pretty sure that's it. But no one else is here. I'm doing an immersion exercise, Lute. An immersion exercise? Yep, I need to act half dead from a boot camp. So I'm gonna run a mile around the school track with this backpack. A mile? But that backpack looks as big as her. Boot camp? Is that what you're calling me, Lute? Now, I'm calling you Lute because Lute is short, for lieutenant, obviously. For lieutenant. Well, darn my socks, don't you catch on fast. Usually her antics would annoy me, but for some reason it's soothing right now. Like white noise in a messy world. Do you usually do things this intense for drama club? Oh no, this is easy. You should have seen what I had to do yesterday. I was a sadistic serial killer. What did you do for that? I ate a bunch of cereal. Oh god. Oh, Lucas, you and Akira are on the same wavelength. I'm not sure whether to feel relieved or exasperated. Say, Lute, if you don't have anything to do right now, why don't you join us? We're doing some exercises that you might like. What makes you think I'll like them? From what Rui says. What exactly does she say? That she'll like the exercises. Lucas liked that one. That's cynical logic. On the contrary, it has nothing to do with bikes. Well, technically, I don't have anything to do. Wait, Rui will be there? What's that stare? I thought a silent Akira would be a blessing, but it's just unsettling. Rui has something to do today. But if you come tomorrow, you can watch her bedazzle the crowd. Tomorrow's Saturday, isn't it? Oh, is it? You don't know what day of the week it is? That happens to me more often than I like to admit. It's Tuesday for my character. And in my defense, there's a half day on Saturdays. Just no clubs, which is kind of important. She doesn't seem to hear me. Instead, she just checks her phone for the time. Hey, boot camp is ending. What about your mile? Let's go! She reaches out and grabs my wrist, but suddenly lets go as if it's a burning iron. I send a questioning look at her, but she only shrugs it off. Come, Lute, adventure awaits. Without any further explanation, she marches into the classroom building. Well, this should be interesting. Akira leads me into classroom 3A, where a dozen students are seated in a ring, looking expectantly at Akira. One of the girls immediately leaps to her feet. I recognize her as the drama club president. Where have you been, maggot? You know how late it is? Immediately, Akira stumbles forward as if she's dead exhausted, the backpack sliding from her shoulders and crashing into the ground. So sorry, sir. I took a detour. A detour? What kind of detour can get you on take you on a training course? Akira. Is she Akira right now? Points to a tremulous finger in my direction. He jumped on me, sir, out of nowhere. I don't even know how he got here. All eyes swivel to me, waiting to see how I handle this sudden development. They're probably expecting me to dodge out, to freeze, or to stare at them like they're a bunch of weirdos. Heck, even I'm expecting me to do something along those lines. But instead, sheer instinct takes over. Years of make-believe with Rui molds me into what is needed at the moment. A foreign spy who haplessly stumbled onto a military operation. Sorry, I'm a tourist. Lost my way. I suddenly move my hand to my hip, where my imaginary gun holster lies. Surprisingly, the club president is perceptive enough to catch it. He's a spy! Oh man, this game. Right as I pretend to whip out my gun, Akira takes my arm, or tackles my arm, throwing me to the ground. I feel a shot of pain run up my shoulder, ripping a very real cry of agony from my throat. Akira proceeds to deftly lock my arms behind my back, leaning over until her mouth is next to my ear. Drop the gun! Through the haze of pain, I manage to hold my character together. Akira nudges my arm, gentler this time, and I yell, opening my fingers in a releasing motion. Sir, what should I do? The club president kneels down, looking me straight in the eye. I tilt my head upward, staring as challengingly as I possibly can. Nice one. Strangers don't usually pick up so easily. The entire room relaxes as she sits before me, bowing her head slightly. Welcome to the drama club. I'm the club president. I don't have a name because I don't have a sprite. Sorry, you came in on a pretty hectic day. No, it was interesting. Akira, could you let go of me? Akira suddenly squeaks, lunging away from me. An uncharacteristic blush crawls to her cheeks as she vainly attempts to cover her face with her hands. It's really unusual for her, but kinda cute. Almost reminds me of Rui. I suppose they've rubbed off on each other at this point. Quickly disregarding these thoughts, I focus back to my physical status and move my arm back to its regular position. It twinges painfully. I can't hide a wince, which the club president immediately notices. Oh gosh, are you okay? I test my arm for a moment, but the pain subsided. It's probably just overstretched slightly. Nah, I should be fine. It's nothing compared to what Miki's made me do before. Excuse me. Did I hurt you? I'm really sorry, Yama. It's fine, really. Poor club president. No sprite. Indeed, woe is me. Are you sure? It's unsettling to see Akira so meek. I glance at the club president and raise an eyebrow. She seems to understand. Well, let's try some basic exercises before our next scenario. Stanislavski's Magic If, everyone! The rest of club time is spent in playing around with different objects, pretending that pencils are bombs, chairs are clouds, and desks are shields. It's amazingly refreshing. I'd almost forgotten how fun it was to just put everything aside and enter a completely different world. Even when the club president, I got club president on the mind now thanks to you, Lucas. Even when the club's been dismissed, I feel a sense of lightness that I haven't felt in a long time. Hey, Loot! Akira pops up next to me, now returned to her cheery self. Hey, where are you headed? Home. Don't you live in the dorms? I live in the world, therefore, anywhere I go is my home. That's deep. Bizarre as always, the only thing I've grown to understand about this girl is that I'll never truly understand her. Right? Seriously, where are you going? Come to think of it, I have no clue what I'm doing here. How convenient. Catch you later, Loot. See you later. And without any further explanation, she skips away. I shrug off my confusion, accepting it as the norm when one speaks with Akira, and head back to my apartment. Except, something stops me at the entrance. By this time, all the students are living it up in town, or doing nobody knows what in the school rec center. Nobody hangs around the entrance. For most, the barred gates and curfew are just another sign of the restrictions instituted by helicopter parents. But beneath the shade of the tree in a far corner, I catch sight of two figures facing each other with hands on hips. Ruri and Misaki. Okay. Sorry, gotta hydrate. I inch forward. The figures are none other than Misaki and Rui, immersed in conversation. Must you keep ignoring me, Rui? Because you've been gone for 4 years, Misaki. We didn't know where you went, or even why you had to leave. All these years, Yama and I were left in the dark. For all we knew, you could have been dead. How can you expect us to act like you never left? I still don't understand how Yama can be so forgiving after he almost... You know what? I'm tired of this. Just don't ever speak to me again, Misaki. She turns to stalk off, but Misaki grabs her wrist in the blink of an eye. I'm not letting you walk away again, damn it. Do you believe that I wanted to leave Seto? To move to District 6 with my mother? Who, by the way, doesn't even deserve to be called my mother? What I don't understand is why you're blaming me for something I couldn't control. Misaki's sudden outburst seems to catch Rui off guard. District 6? She doesn't deserve to be called her mother? Just what happened to Misaki after she left Seto? Misaki, you're hurting my wrist. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rui. I shouldn't have... The two girls seem to avoid each other's gazes for an awkward moment. Rui is the first to speak, her voice coming out in barely a whisper. Half a year after you left, we gave up. We thought you'd never contact us again. I was okay, but Yama, he thought someone had left him. Again. Forever. He thought that people would just keep leaving him, that no one would stay by his side. He locked himself in his room, pulled himself into a shell. I couldn't reach him. No one could. He didn't trust any of us to stay. Then I dropped by his house one day, and the medicine cabinet was open, and this huge bottle was gone. You mean... Yeah. You know how hands-off his parents must have always been, or have always been. The ambulance barely made it in time. Huh, so we got some very interesting backstory into Yama here. They had to start pumping him on site. That's how bad it was. Was it really that bad? So, understand why I was so upset. I had no idea, Rui. Just where were you, Miki? Why? Why couldn't you have just... Rui breaks off and covers her face with her hands. Misaki's expression crumples. She hesitantly reaches out towards Rui. And Rui promptly kicks her in the shin. Okay, so much for a reconciliation. Dummy Miki! Why did you take so long? Ow! Why weren't you there for Yama? Why weren't you there for me? Ah, I missed you! Rui! And now they're draped against each other, sobbing like newborn children. What just happened? Okay, so reconciliation indeed. Never mind. I quietly inch away from the scene, feeling the sudden sense that they need privacy. At least they made up. Well, from the looks of it, it almost seems like Rui was really just overwhelmed from keeping secrets. My memory of that time is very faint, but hers must be crystal clear. I can actually really empathize with Rui in this situation. Not to get into too personal, but I've actually experienced that before myself, and it is very traumatizing. Her terror, her anguish when she stumbled on me, must have been festering inside her all these years, because mentioning anything could have sent me over the brink. She always had to fake smiles, put me first, pick me up when I'd fallen down. Something inches in the back of my mind, a weird kind of dizziness threatening to overcome me. I force it back until I can become more detached. I really, really don't want to think about that time, but thankfully, I can suppress it for now. But Rui, she was never one to hide away from her feelings. She faced that pain full force. Little wonder that seeing Miki again had brought all that to the surface. And Miki, she said she moved to District 6 with, Satomi. Something she hadn't told me when I saw her 2 days ago. Why would she resent her mother so passionately? Also, why would they move to District 6, the most poverty-stricken area of Isamu? It certainly makes me curious, but then again, it's really none of my business. At least she and Rui are friends again, so maybe now the three of us can go back to the way we were. I can't hide a smile as I lounge against the couch after whipping up some dinner, replaying the exchange in my head. And I'm going to give it a quick save. Actually, there we go. I'm glad that they've made up. Really glad. Somehow it feels like a big burden has been lifted off of me, even though I technically had nothing to do with the argument. Now I'm getting all sappy. Let's see. What should I do tonight? Okay. Lucas, what are you thinking here? So far, I've just watched Governmecker, like, consistently, just for the silliness. Or do you think we should switch it up? Not to make you, if you want to lurk, then absolutely lurk, but if you have any input here, then I'm more than happy to oblige. Again, no pressure. If you don't have a preference, just say so. Governmecker, okay, more silliness it is. Let's do it. Heck, why not? Here we go! The episode opens with President Jay Graves chugging along a road in a large SUV in a shot that looks suspiciously like an American car commercial. Suddenly, a blur crashes down from the sky and lands on the hood of the car, stopping him immediately. Stop right there, monsieur! You are trespassing on the France border! President Graves steps out of the car, coming face to face with a teen in a striped shirt, red scarf, floppy beret, and a thin twirled mustache. Definitely not a stereotype. Who is this this is the president. Who is this pretentious buffoon? And what business do you have stopping an Akiri man? I forgot how you actually say that. Akiri man. Definitely not an American. I am Diamond France, leader of the 865th Resistance. France answers to me and me alone. He made the right choice, I agree. This introduction is punctuated by a very sudden passage of an out-of-tune accordion. You can order France around all you like, but I'm a proud Akiri man. We have all natural rights and liberty, and nothing can hold us down. I now see why your crime rate is so high, no? Are you insulting my freedom? Enough, Governmecker! Not so fast! Diamond France suddenly reaches into his beret and pulls out a whip? How'd that fit into a hat? You may have your little toy, monsieur, but nothing can defeat my whip. You think that pansy little whip can take on Governmecker? The whip is what my team of visual novel writers, my millions of countrymen in line, do not underestimate it. Ha! We'll see how great that whip is when I'm done with it. Governmecker, mobilize! I surrender! Oh my god. Before Governmecker can even chug onto the scene, Diamond France has whipped out a white flag from his beret and is frantically waving it in the air. Oh my god, I should have known, but I totally didn't see it coming. You what? Already? We're friends! We are very good at surrendering. Is that something to be proud of? We're friends! We're proud of everything! Also, I've got more of an Italian thing going with him, but don't sweat the details. Just then, Governmecker, in all its stop motion and toy model glory, bursts into the scene, worrying expectantly at President Graves. It's more like a stereotypical Mario thing than it is even Italian. President Graves only taps it lightly on the foot with a sad smile. Bleh. Sorry, bud. False alarm. I swear the Governmecker's shoulders droop in disappointment as it chugs away like a rejected puppy. Suddenly, Diamond France throws the flag into President Graves' face with a triumphant shout. Aha! Victory is mine! What? Where's your sense of honor? We're French. We're very good at being dishonorable. Stop saying that. Then we shall proceed, no? Come, robot of anguish, let us wreak havoc together! As Diamond France dramatically spins around, President Graves claps his hands over his ears. Governmecker, mobilize! As Diamond France's robot oozes into its form like some abstract French art film, Governmecker tears onto the screen with renewed vigor. but Diamond French lashes his whip at its knee, causing it to flop on the ground. Ha! Your little pet is no match for France, no? We'll see about that! He leaps into the cockpit as Governmecker jerkily pulls itself to his feet. Diamond France leaps into its own mech, now molded into a deformed Eiffel Tower with a cockpit duct taped to the front, and rushes at Governmecker. Oh god, don't do it! Renaissance out the dangers! Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Speak English, heathen! The mechs crash against each other, swinging metallic limbs haphazardly as Diamond France opens his cockpit, tossing strange objects at President Graves. Baguette! I'm sorry. Baguette of destruction! Eclairs of illumination! Final croissant! Are these pastries? Ha! They're no match for Pole House chocolate chip cookies! As the French pastries harmlessly bounce off Governmecker's armor, President Graves chucks back his own weapon. It promptly explodes into 100 other chocolate chip cookies, which explode again until Diamond France's mech keels over to the floor, finally defeated. This is great, indeed. It's like a stereotype in the movie. Sacre bleu! You have defeated me! Stick to art, monsieur, since you clearly suck at fighting. I won't forget this! Diamond French... I keep wanting to call him Diamond French. Diamond France shakes his fist in anger as he limps away into the sunset. President Graves only grins smugly, reboards his SUV, and continues down the road, blasting traditional rock and roll with both windows down. Technically, this series should be abominably offensive, but for some reason, I'm just amused by it. I think I'm actually becoming fond of it. Yeah, me too. The sudden... I can't talk, guys. The sudden ring of my phone breaks me out of my thoughts. Shigure. Oh boy. I'd better answer this one. Shigure? Okay, it might be time to hop back into the mystery side of this game. Ah, Ishiyama. A most intriguing circumstance has transpired and necessitates immediate reagency. I'm not going on another little goose chase, if that's what you mean. Oh, I aver this is of far more exigency than a mere preliminary. Despite myself, I'm intrigued. And what would that be? The police have come to an impasse, an exact... She just makes me feel like an idiot. Coadjuvancy for the recent disappearances within Isamu Imperial Boarding Academy. Are you conversant with the cases? I ruefully think back to the events of the morning. Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with the recent disappearances. Well, I should hope so, given that you attend the very institution. At any rate, you must meet me at the school tomorrow morning. We are scouring every last inch of the campus, even if it requires neglecting sleep. With luck, a crucial piece of evidence may be uncovered. Disappearances? Neglecting sleep? Evidence? What's going on? So, we're searching the academy for a lead on the recent disappearances. That is what I previously adverted. Are you deaf, or merely improficient in fathoming such elementary conceptualizations with your tawdry intellectuality? Right. There goes the canon of verbal abuse. I'm honestly impressed. I can't match her in that regard, and I, for the love of God, cannot match her vocabulary. But no one disturbs my sleep. No one. And you're expecting me to pull an all-nighter for this. Well, naturally, the case demands it. I'm not doing that. Get some other people to help. On the contrary, as I have no qualms with neglecting sleep, you should be the one recruiting. Gather your accomplices as you deem necessary, Ishiyama, and meet by the school gates at 8 a.m. sharp. But But isn't it illegal to share confidential case information with civilians? It ought to be felonious to possess such infinitesimal acumen, yet you are not incarcerated. That doesn't answer my question. Should you choose to go alone, know that you will be spending the entirety of your day in investigation. I'm not even getting paid! If you really don't want to do it, you don't have to. But we both know that you're already too curious for that. What's really unfair is that she's actually right. Sometimes I wish that she was oblivious and stupid, but then again, she wouldn't be Shigure. I guess I have a lot of calls to make. When I arrive at the academy the next morning, I find a fairly sizable group of people gathered at the gate, none of them looking particularly happy with me. Well, look who actually showed up. Elizabeth's definitely the angriest. I probably shouldn't have pulled the blackmail card to get her here. Oh man, yeah, she's pissed. But at the same time, I need as many people as I can get. You thought I wouldn't? Honestly, no. I was the guy who organized this. Why wouldn't I show up? Once an irresponsible person, always an irresponsible person. Would you like some pepper with that salt? Oh, Rui. I really like her. I'm just telling him how to improve. Sure you are. You haven't said a single constructive thing. Does he deserve it? He doesn't bloody take anything seriously. Has he ever excelled? Ever? Is this still about that stupid project from last year? It wasn't stupid. Clearly you don't have the brains to understand. Hey, lay off her. Guys, can we just... Stay out of this, Yahiko. Look, Elizabeth, I've tried to ignore you. I thought you improved because Yama stopped talking about you. But you're too stubborn to think you might be wrong. You know nothing about me. Stop shooting off your mouth like an ignorant. I probably should give Elizabeth an English accent, but I would just butcher it, like, even worse, so I'm just gonna not. You come here and say that to me! Oh, God. Yavus need to let loose before you spill 'em. Condone what you think, huh? What the hell? For a second, I found myself double-checking whether that was indeed Misaki Kazehaya who just spoke. Judging from the fact that everyone else just looked as bewildered as me, the resounding answer is yes. The commotion immediately comes to a halt. Masato seemingly the only person who actually registered what Misaki just said. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's confused by that, Lucas. She's right. Ain't no use in us arguing. Well, alright then. Guess that's one way to defuse an angry Masato. What makes it a little scary is how easily Misaki could do so. Elizabeth and Ruri turn away in a huff, but they stay silent. I'm not completely sure whether it's out of respect for Misaki, or if they simply don't have the energy to keep arguing. Well, this is getting off to a great start. It appears you accrued a respectable quantity of potential peons after all, Ishiyama. And now Shigure's here, which will either fix everything or make matters much, much worse. I'm betting on the latter, as am I. Wait, isn't that... Yeah, it's, oh god, I already forgot her name. Irie. I was gonna call her, like, Aini. What are you doing here? You! I elbow him in the ribs to shut him up. He seems to understand. She's with me, obviously. I, on the other hand, have my own inquiry. By what means have you acquainted yourself with Irie Hiragana? How do I know her? Same school, remember? And yet you address her with some, similitude of fellowship. So do you. How do you know her? I hold no obligation to acknowledge queries impelled by a marginally competent plebeian. With this kind of affirmation of my hard efforts, she moves into the group, examining each person from head to toe. They only stare back, unsure of how to react. Intriguing. Oh, I see. What are you doing? Shigure only returns to the center of the group without another word. My name is Shigure Inomoto. I'm a freelance detective. Ain't you kinda young for that? I'm 26 years of age, you tintilus imbecile, and legally certified. She flashes her badge at Masato, who only shrugs. You're 26? Yes. Pray keep yourself from any further counterproductive disruptions. After a moment of silence, during which she takes a deep breath, with Irie comfortingly patting her back, she seems to regain control. You've been summoned on account of an extremely important affair. As you might expect, I cannot divulge details due to the confidential nature of this case. However, I can tell you the following. We are searching for any information that may be related to the recent disappearances of Academy students. You must be meticulous, you must be witty, you must be adaptable, and above all, you must stay alive. Her words carry unusual dramatic weight. A quick glance around the area confirms my suspicions. Every person is leaning towards Shigure, a glimmer of excitement in their eyes. Even Elizabeth seems interested. Heck, I'm looking forward to this. Turns out Shigure can be inspiring when she really wants to. Investigate all areas of the school until noon, where we shall reconvene at the garden rooftop to debrief. Blech. Leave no stone unturned. The lives of innocent citizens lie in our hands. 3, 2, 1. Break! Every person in the group tears off in every direction. Only Irie, Rui, and Shigure remain. Rui shuffles close to Shigure with a shy smile. I'm sorry, but would it be okay if I tagged along with you? Being a detective just sounds so cool. But, of course, only if it's okay with you and Irie. I noticed Shigure's chest puff up slightly, like a proud veteran aiming to impress the newbies. Rui probably scored extra points by including Irie. Well, if you insist. Irie? Irie glances from Rui to Shigure and back, the edge of her brow furrowing slightly. Shigure, noticing her hesitation, tries a comforting smile. Remember? Irie stares vacantly at Shigure for a long moment, then nods, the corners of her lips rising just slightly. It's settled. What's your name? I'm Rui Hayata. We must depart at once, Rui. Enlightenment awaits. As she promptly dashes away, Rui on her heels, Irie briefly glances in my direction as she follows them out. I spend an idle moment relishing the fresh air against my face and the glorious serenity of the silence. Then I straighten my shoulders and evaluate my surroundings, ready to start my investigation. Oh, we get choices. Okay, time for a new save. Boop. We got the entrance, we have the cafeteria, we have the rooftop, and we have the courtyard. We're already at the entrance, so it only makes sense to start there, right? The offices lie near the school entrance. Maybe I could glean something there. The question is, how can I legally obtain confidential evidence, or confidential information, without a license? Access to your informational database. I presume we're in agreement? Well, I guess I found my license. I should have expected Shigure to come here. The faculty office does, after all, hold the official records. Anything from other locations would mainly be hearsay. Certainly, Miss Inomoto. Please wait a moment while I prepare the database. As the secretary withdraws into the offices, Shigure returns to Rui, pushing her glasses to the bridge of her nose. Sadly, there is little glamour in our line of work. Much of it is limited to scouring through paperwork. Really? Yes. However, as other talents are better spent on proper investigation, we often delegate such tasks to menial workers. Suddenly, her arm shoots out and pulls me by the shoulder, of course. Example A, after all. Exhibit A! We're on the same wavelength here. Yama? What are you doing here? I was He shall, of course, be our manual labor. Wait, what? Oh, do detectives usually have those? Shigure straightens ever so slightly, clearly pleased by Rui's interest. But of course, is it not a staple in mystery literature? The erstwhile sidekick diligently records the many escapades of the capable detective. Wow! Being a detective sounds so interesting. But that's literature. Ah, she's back. Just then, the secretary conveniently pops out of the offices and slips a tablet into Shigure's hands. The system is digitized as per standard regulations, Miss Inamoto. Her eyes land on us. However, due to the confidential nature of this information, I cannot allow these students to... Come closer. Pardon? Come closer. The secretary glances around before inching forward, leaning down to meet Shigure's height. Shigure whispers something furiously into her ear, something that makes her eyes widen in shock. Well, if that's the case, then I suppose... Good. Off you go! I shall return this after it's been properly searched. The secretary obediently scurries off. Rui grins in clear admiration. That was incredible. So it was. What did you tell her? She agreed awfully fast. Why, I simply notified her that the three of you are undercover agents. And that's why you acted like it was a huge secret. Precisely. I stated that your identities must not be blown for the sake of the nation. That's really clever. It's also a blatant lie, but... That, good pupil, is why it's vitally important to practice one's prowess with language. Manipulation is key to obtaining information. That doesn't sound very moral. At any rate, we must proceed. Evidence awaits. She dramatically activates the tablet, flipping through the Academy database. The amount of pure information it holds is frankly disturbing. For each student, they have not only basic information, but details filtered from any linked social media accounts. Well, protege, would you like to take a look? I guess, if you really... Yes! Rui bolts in front of me, snatching the tablet out of my hands. She eagerly flicks through the tablet as Shigure looks on with a proud smile. Haven't I been working for Shigure for what, 3 days now? And Rui just met Shigure today? Wait, why do I care? I'd be free if she took my job. No more random assignments, no more verbal abuse. It would be heavenly. Right? Rui suddenly leaps away from the tablet, startling me out of my thoughts. Oh gosh, I did not need to know that about Masato. What? Nothing. Nothing. I attempt to peer over her shoulder for a closer look, but Shigure promptly swipes the tablet. A good effort, protege, but you must remember to prioritize the evidence above all else. Had you lost your grip on that tablet, our lead would have been obliterated. Yeah, I didn't think of that. It's no big burden, but we must utilize the precious time we've been granted. She begins skimming through the tablet, eyes roving rapidly across the glass surface, as she takes in every morsel of information. What are you hiding, Masato? Yes. Oh, I see. What is it? What is it? We have one particularly very telling detail. Something that should be addressed before we move on. What? Ishiyama. She flings the tablet unceremoniously in my direction. I'm barely able to catch it in time. So much for prioritizing the evidence above all else. Summarize. Why me? Because you're dragging the group down with your uselessness. But, summarize! Sorry, yes, sir. I dourly scan over the tablet as she hovers over my right shoulder, or attempts to, except for her considerable lack of height. Well? I wave away her demands, steadily immersing myself with data. Apparently, there's already been 3 official disappearances. The first was verified 6 days ago. The second was verified 4 days ago. And the third was verified just yesterday. Okay. So it's a 2-day gap and then a 3-day gap. Midori Mayano, second year, missing for 8 days. Toma Hayashi, first year, missing for 5 days. Second year, first year, 5 days, 8 days. Akane Tsukino, second year, missing for 2 days. Okay. Toma is that a girl's name? The other two are girls' names. Wait, Akane? Why does that sound familiar? Midori Mayano, Toma Hayashi, Akane Tsukino. Ishiyama, pray give us something of marginal benefit before swine take to the air. Yeah. I continue skimming. There doesn't seem to be much connection between the student years, nor their hobbies, grades, or anything really. Guess I should start with the basics and work my way up. Maybe I'll find something. All 3 students are children of wealthy families. Irrelevant. 86% of the Academy student population belongs to families with an income bracket of over 25 million yen. Jesus. They also all lived on campus as dorms. As does the majority of the Academy, faculty included. But here's the weird thing. Even during school break, which was when the first victim, Midori Mayano, disappeared, the Academy enforces curfew to protect both its students and its property. Excuse me. The curfew is something like 11:30 p.m., right, Rui? Yeah. So on-campus students have a curfew of 11:30. All of the victims lived on campus, so they would have had to register for curfew. But according to these records, they all disappeared at night, even after registering for curfew. No one's supposed to be able to get in and out after curfew. Just so. Thus, Ishiyama, we have a bit of a quandary on our hands. How did 3 students manage to leave during a time when they could not possibly do so? Leaving after the Academy curfew. If they wanted to stay out all night long, why log themselves in at all? Why not just stay out the whole day? If only one student had left after curfew, I could easily wave it away as an exception. Maybe they didn't want to get in trouble. Maybe they really wanted to party or drink or do whatever the Academy students do. Maybe they had friends to help them out. But 3? In such a short time? Furthermore, it's 3 people who don't seem to have any strong relationship with each other. Excuse me, Miss Inamoto. The secretary pops out of nowhere, looking very stern over her thin-rimmed spectacles. Wait a moment. I can't, I'm afraid. I verified the identity of these students with the police headquarters, and they hold no record of undercover agents at this location. Well, they would hardly divulge that degree of intelligence to a mere layperson. They also warned me of your previous stunts. Oh. Busted! Come investigate on your own, Miss Inamoto. I cannot reveal confidential information to ordinary students. She promptly whisks the tablet out of my hands and strides back into the office. Shigure stews in silence for a long, long moment. Ruri only tugs at her sleeve with a penitent expression. I'm sorry, Shigure. We shouldn't have come. Sorry, one moment. Need to hydrate. Okay. I'm alive again. Sort of. Nonsense. This is simply a perfect demonstration of the faults of bureaucracy. What did we learn from these records? Nothing. Nothing that was not already publicly accessible. Imbeciles. Shigure. Irie's simple call seems to mollify Shigure. Well, at the very least... I'm back alive, sort of. Hey, Jill HF. What's going on, man? You didn't miss too much. Okay. So, starting from the top, Misaki and Rui have made up more or less. Masato, had some hijinks with Yama, and we had a session with Mr. Ryota. Shigure roped Yama into helping again, and not only that, roping in a bunch of his other acquaintances into starting the investigation. Now we are investigating at the school. I went into the faculty office with Shigure, who's with Rui and Airi, and we are now... the secretary just found out that we're not undercover agents like Shigure tried to come across, and our credentials have more or less been whisked away to run through their files. And that's where we're at right now. Thought it was at 4 p.m. That was my fault. It was supposed to be at 1 p.m., but I did not change the time zone in the original schedule. So even though I had scheduled it for 1 p.m., I had the time zone thing on the side wrong. So that's totally my fault. Fingers more or less recovered from the car door slam. Ooh, good to hear, man. Very good to hear. Do you still have, like, some brittleness in your joints? Or, you know, because I know that can be difficult. Alright, let's continue. It took 6 months. Good lord, man. I'm glad to hear that you're, you know, feeling better. Well, at the very least, I suppose we discovered some fairly important information. Primarily the fact that each student logged in for curfew before they curiously vanish. That's a good start, at least. Sadly, not nearly significant enough. Then how do you propose we continue? Not the joints, there's still a bit of scab on the fingernail. Okay, well, at least it's not your joints. You know, because I know that could be really hard to recover from. That does sound really painful. Ugh. Well, thankfully, I anticipated that such an event might occur, and made sufficient compensations. Come, Airi, Rui, Ishiyama! Renewed as she marches up the stairs to the second floor. Landed directly on the nail. Oh. Oh. Squirm. Yikes. I've got a really bad feeling about this. Shigure hovers around the hallway before blasting into classroom 2B, hands sweeping in an overly extravagant gesture. Stop the presses! Rui's eyes light up at this display of histrionics. Yeah, histrionics. She barges right in behind Shigure, pointing dramatically into the distance. We have arrived! All eyes land on this peculiar sight. I try to stick to the shadows before I'm dragged into their insane antics. What kind of backup plan is this? I had to go to a business dinner meeting immediately afterwards. A bit awkward. Oh, I mean, beyond being awkward, I'm sure that you were in a lot of pain. Yikes. Well, either way, I'm glad you're finally making a full recovery. Who are you? The question is not who am I, but rather, who am I to you? Isn't that the same thing? Wrong! To you, I am superior! To you, I am omniscient! Oh my god. To you, I am your master! To you, I am the law! To you, we are the truth! They're really on the same wavelength, aren't they? What is this, a comedy duo? Maybe it's some kind of an advanced intimidation tactic. The teacher certainly looks frightened enough. Either that or concerned at their mental health. What is Shigure doing in the school? They're going to investigate the disappearances that have been happening. And she roped in Yama's acquaintances into helping with the investigation. And Rui has really taken to kind of following behind Shigure. Like, she's very interested in the idea of a detective. I am the law! Thanks, Judge Dredd. Shigure! Team Logic! Solving crimes at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Oh god, they actually did it! Surrender now or prepare to fight. Oh, hell. The Pokemon references are just out of control in this episode. Oh, that's right! They even did Meowth. Oh my god. Don't look at me, I don't know these people. Get back to your classes before I report you for truancy. Shigure becomes very, very still, and her hands curl into fists. Well, at least no one involved in the crime will notice them if they're at the school. You're totally on the game's wavelength. I guess so. Nerds will, follow nerd logic, I suppose. Here we go again. I am not another... Oh, geez, her vocabulary again. Anisalafis Kachuman? What the hell, Shigure? I am a legitimate freelance detective, 26 years of age, officially licensed, and I am here on matters of extreme import. The teacher's eyes swirl at her excessively large vocabulary. As a result, there's no resistance when Shigure takes the podium, addressing the class students like a president at her inaugural address. It's an unreleased Pokemon? Are you serious? I haven't played Pokemon since Gen 1, but I actually am going to get Pokemon Sword or Shield. I'm actually interested in, the Switch game coming out. Nope, sounds okay. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised at this point. Denizens of the city of Isamu, your cooperation is required for a situation most dire. For more information, I refer you to our head of public relations, Irie Hiragana. She nods her head at Irie, who, after a few moments of staring wordlessly at the podium, steps to the center of the classroom. Maybe despite her introverted tendencies, she's actually a really good speaker. At the very least, she can't be worse than Shigure. Are any of you murderers? Okay. Okay then. Never mind. She can be worse than Shigure. Way worse. What kind of a question is that? Are we in trouble? They're wasting our time. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. I need to get us out of here before we're expelled for disruption. What can I do? Ha! It seems that even that simple question has eluded their tiny brains. Try something different, Irie. Have you seen any strange events recently? I think we're witnessing a strange event right now. And someone speaks. Quickly, make your statement. Nothing! I just, saw something outside. Ah, of course, the old bait-and-switch trick. That'll get them to leave in a hurry. Outside? Quick! After them! Chase that cab! As they bolt into the hallway, Irie pulls out her phone and taps idly on its surface. Within a few seconds, a police siren is playing from its speakers. Very strange event indeed, Lucas. Quick, after them. And she snappily walks away, sirens still resounding from her phone. All eyes fall on me! The teacher only folds his arms, staring at me with a single raised eyebrow. What was that all about? I'd better just make a run for it. Good call, Yama. Good call. I promptly sprint out of the classroom, taking random turns until I finally feel safe. Well, I'm not sure where they went, but it's already time to rendezvous. I guess I'd better head to the roof. That was something else. Within a few minutes, everyone's gathered on the rooftop. I take stock of the unfortunates. Rui, Shigure, and Irie seem disappointed. Yahiko and Elizabeth seem tired. Misaki and Akira seem to be unchanged, and Masato looks like he's on the brink of death. Wonder what happened with them. I suppose, depending on where we went, we probably would have teamed up with one of the other groups. Despite the idiocies of bureaucracy, it appears that a crucial piece of information did surface. That the students all disappeared even after curfew? Yes. You may elaborate further, Ishiyama. I glance around, but no one else seems willing to talk. Not even Rui, who was excited to play detective. Well, basically, Each of the students logged in for the 11:30 p.m. curfew in their rooms. By all intents and purposes, that should have rendered them safe. Even if they're allowed to leave the dorm building, they have to stay on campus. And it's not like anyone else can get in with the security parameters around the building. So we have something strange on our hands, since they disappear when they shouldn't be able to. Well, as I decide our next course of action, I recommend that each of you obtain your desired nourishment. Dismissed. The peach again. She plops down on a nearby bench, digging through her satchel. Irie settles next to her, pulling a peach out of her backpack. The others take various places around the rooftop greenhouse, retrieving lunchboxes from their bags. I notice Yahiko slide into the bench beside Misaki. Elizabeth sits opposite of Shigure, alone. Akira whips out Annette Diana Hellenson the 14th and lays her on the floor. When Rui and Masato attempt to sit on her, Akira gestures frantically at Rui. I don't remember what that's supposed to be. Oh! Yeah! Rui quickly makes her way to me, extending a lunchbox with two hands. Hey, you didn't bring any food, right? I made extra. You can have it if you want. You made enough food to fill an extra lunchbox? I accidentally made a lot more than expected, okay? Just take it. You were transparent, Rui. I can only stare at the lunchbox, my mind racing ahead of me. Should I? I'd rather not hurt her feelings. But isn't accepting homemade food from someone synonymous with accepting their feelings? Only in Japan. I glance at Akira for help, but she's pointedly looking away from us. Maybe she wants to give us privacy. Take it before my arms fall off, idiot. That's the break for me. I'm comfortable enough to accept the lunchbox. Thanks. No problem. She suddenly dashes back to Annette Diana Hellenson the 14th, leaving me alone with the lunchbox. I glance inside. Delicious eggs are neatly rolled and topped with seaweed, set inside an aesthetic bouquet beside a bed of rice. The rice is shaped into a lantern, decorated with lettuce, carrots, and cucumber. It looks unbelievably delicious. Just when I'm about to dig in, some commotion catches my attention. So, what's it like being in Lotus modeling? Do you live an extravagant life with your servants who wait on your beck and call? I wouldn't say extravagant, but it's fun. You get to meet so many new people, visit so many new places, try so many new things. It's a great experience. Although it can be really demanding sometimes. Demanding? How? It's a competitive business, so it requires a lot of commitment. That's why I'm usually absent from class. And the school allows that. Surprisingly, my grades aren't being affected, so I suppose they don't see it as a problem. Do you think Lotus would have an opening for the great Yahiko Ikari? I highly doubt that his grades would allow him to work as a model. You are handsome, so I don't see why not. Did she just call Yahiko handsome? I admit he's not bad looking, but I didn't expect her to be so blunt about it. Yeah, you're right. Of course they wouldn't deny my impeccable charms. What's your number? I'll be sure to text you when I find something. I can only shake my head incredulously as they begin sharing contact info. I dig into my free lunch, relishing the explosion of flavor in my mouth. Ruby's really improved at cooking. As I eat, I continue to examine my surroundings. The next group to catch my attention is Irie and Shigure. Irie is quietly munching on a peach in her standard baby hamster fashion. Shigure, meanwhile, has propped her feet up on a flower bed like a gangster. She appears to be eating some kind of sweet green dumpling. Sounds like it's time for you to break for lunch, Lucas. Shigure. Yes? Is that enough? What, this? She gestures to the green balls in her hand. Irie nods. More than enough. They're melon paste mochi, the root of immortality. What? There are no vegetables, no fruit, no protein. Well, yes, but it's not nutritious. Eat some veggies? If you insist, Irie. So she's picky. Irie shares a rare smile at this. I'm surprised at how open she is around Shigure. Makes me wonder how they know each other. Not only that, but Shigure actually listens to Irie. It seems like Irie is the only one who can put her in her place. Galloping goats! You don't mean to say... I do indeed! He's gone by now, far behind the city limits, and out of your scheming hands. And there those two go again. You misunderstand the meaning of omniscient, my dear Lady Bringham. Ha! As if you could beat true love. Oh no, I happen to know that your lover is hiding. Right there! She whips her finger around in my direction, but thankfully, Masato suddenly steps in front. Huh? Me? Jumping jackals! I always thought that sort of thing only happened in dramas! That's a proper Destiny-like moment, isn't it, Rui? Masato, my true love? Yeah, I don't think so. Masato seems to take this as a challenge. Every muscle tightens with competitive aggression as he steps between Rui and Akira, brandishing an imaginary sword. Come on and fight me, you big coward! Yeah, I'm here! I challenge you to a duel to the death! No, duel to the pain! I smell disaster afoot. The hell's a duel to the pain? First, your feet are cut off, below the ankles, and then at your wrists, and then your eyes, and then your tongue. But that's only if I lose, right? Easy! Now fight me, you crooked canary! On second thought, peace! You can be with your true love! Oh man, this game. She flees away from the scene, taking cover behind Shigure. What are you doing? I'm hiding behind, by the Alps. You're the Alps. Go away. I am not the Alps. That's what the Alps always say. Leave! In an unusual burst of energy, she reaches out and shoves Akira to the ground. Everything happens at once. Rui rushes to Akira, worriedly checking her for injury. Elizabeth and Misaki immediately get to their feet. Yahiko freezes while Masato sprints at Shigure. The hell was that about? Seriously. I'm thinking. Don't disturb me when I'm thinking. You didn't have to shove her. She wouldn't have left otherwise. How'd you know that, huh? I took a moment to analyze all of you when we first met, if you recall. You can't know someone by one look. You can if you possess at least one functional hemisphere of a brain. Don't talk like that, Shigure. Guys, I'm fine. Let's just calm down. This does nothing to stop the rising tension. Even I can't help but feel amped up. It's one thing for Shigure to insult me, and another thing for her to insult one of my friends. Even if I insult him all the time. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I know. Just let me be. I need to think. Ain't you gonna say you're sorry? I won't say I'm sorry for something I have no reason to be sorry for. Akira didn't even do anything to you. She had no awareness of the comfort of others. She completely disregarded Irie's feelings on the matter. Everyone's eyes land on Irie, who stares blankly at her peach. Come to think of it, Akira would have been right next to Irie. I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable. I thought you guys were lonely. Wow, yeah, really, Lucas. Just because you may be lonely in an identical situation does not give you the right to push your opinions on other people. I am sorry. You did nothing wrong, Akira. Stop this, Shigure. On the contrary, you two were the ones horsing around, dragging everyone into your uncomfortable scenarios. Hey, ain't you the one making us investigate for you? I did nothing of the sort. Ishiyama was your requester. That ain't no excuse. Stop being so single-minded and think for once. All you can do is band together like sheep. Why don't you approach this from Irie's perspective? Everyone once again looks to Irie, who stops munching on her peach. Well, you just put her on the spot, which would make her uncomfortable. Don't speak as if you know more than I. Maybe you're the stubborn one, huh? This is degenerating fast. What's surprising is that Elizabeth and Misaki aren't making a move. They're just sitting back, watching the display before them without emotion. Clearly, they value Shigure too highly to fight back. Which means I have to do it. Rui, you may be saying this because you're still learning, but in the world of detectives... No, what you did was unnecessary, Shigure. Please don't tell me that this is real life. Don't you lecture me about what real life is or is not. Shut up, all of you. Amazingly, they actually quiet down. Kira, you're okay? Righter than rain, Cap. There's a slight tremble to her voice, but I ignore it. No need to stir up any more trouble. Good. Shigure, don't shove people. If she was making Irie uncomfortable... Irie? Were you uncomfortable? A tense moment of silence falls on the group. Irie only shrugs inconclusively. Okay, whatever. Akira, don't get too close again. Shigure, don't shove Akira again. Solved. But that's not fair to... Solved. That's it. Understood? Thankfully, she nods sullenly. Shigure only straightens her glasses, but I'm pretty sure she'll also behave herself. Presently, I notice that Elizabeth and Misaki are looking at me with a tinge of respect. Well, at least someone's pleased with me. Guys, why don't we cool off a bit? Let's do something fun. Nobody seems to react, but somehow I can tell they're all interested. Fighting has a way of sucking you dry. Maybe it would be better to redirect everyone's energy to something else. Something where if they end up fighting, at least they won't cause permanent emotional or physical scars. What do you suggest? Watching a movie? I subtly shake my head. We never get everyone to agree on the same movie. Hey, Sergey! How's it going? Good to see you, man. How about an amusement park? An amusement park? Yeah! There's that new high-tech one by the mall. You know, with the new lemony skate attractions? Skate? I don't know. I vaguely recall seeing something like that on the news. Lemony Skate, the mega corporation of all things technical and media-related, partnering with a handful of large amusement parks all over the country. Apparently, they were going to revolutionize entertainment. Have them watch Mars Attacks. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that option. Oh, those looked amazing. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm in. Elizabeth only shakes her head. As remarkable as it sounds, I must pass. I've other duties to attend to. I consider this for a moment. Should I let her go? She did try her best in the investigation. But the image of a squealing Elizabeth on a top-level roller coaster is just too good to pass up. Elizabeth, do you know anything about coffee? Her face pales and she quickly glances around at the others. When they only return looks of confusion, she storms over to me, angrily hissing into my ear. Stop that! Come with us. Give me one reason. Because you don't want anyone to find out about your job. Give me another reason. Because you'd be alone if you stayed here, and that's kind of sad to me. The thought comes before I can stop it. I quickly wave it away so it won't take root. The last thing I need right now is to sympathize with Elizabeth. Because I'm so dashing. That isn't a good reason. You asked for a reason. That doesn't necessarily merit a good one. Blimey, I can't believe you. She steps back, raising her voice so everyone can hear. Fine, but who's paying? I look to Shigure. Everyone follows suit. For a second, the detective stares back at us, uncomprehending. Then she leaps to her feet, her face coloring in anger. No, absolutely not. Why? I harbor no incentive in chaperoning an inordinate, extensive conglomerate of cognitively impaired juveniles to a venue whose solitary objective is the frivolous squandering of time. The insults only fuel me to think harder. The amusement park won't be cheap. We need Shigure to pay for us. The question is, what would make her? Hey, Chris. Here for the H scenes. No H scenes. Drat. It's pretty late. It don't let me keep you up, Sergey, with the stream. But it's good to see you, man. Oh, of course. If it has anything to do with the case, Shigure will be there in the blink of an eye. Well, I wasn't going to mention this because it seemed trivial at the time, but There was a minor lead from today. And you did not think to tell me sooner? Like I said, it felt too trivial for me to mention. Honestly, I don't really want to go to the park, but I feel like it might give us some important information. How can she not see where this is going? Well, what was the lead? Ad-libbing in front of a teacher is one thing, but ad-libbing in front of Shigure is a different matter entirely. I struggled to work past my sluggish brain for the answers. Well, there were some claims that the Yakuza might own the amusement park. It might give us a clue on how students are able to leave the campus after curfew. Wait, there's no reason for the Yakuza to be affiliated with the disappearances. Well, that would tie two controversial pieces of evidence from last week. Is she serious? Irie? Amusement park? I shouldn't go. Remember? Surprisingly, Irie's silence only seems to strengthen Shigure's resolve. Don't think of it in such a manner. Very well, Ishiyama. Let us depart. Really? And you're paying for everyone? Oh, yes. With your future wages. I'm not even getting paid. Hey, what's going on up here? Ah, it's Mr. Ryota. Probably does, she just doesn't care at this point. You know, you're probably right, Shiocha. As if there wasn't a party enough, Mr. Ryota arrives on the scene, brandishing a ruler in his right hand. He stops short upon seeing our little group. Yama? Hey, Mr. Ryota. Why, if it isn't the J-Man! Sup, Mr. Ryota? Hey, gents, ladies. What the hell's going on up here? The third floor offices swore up and down that someone was getting murdered. Yeah, their little fight from earlier. I recall the decibel level of the recent argument and feel slightly guilty. Were we that loud? Loud enough that I'm supposed to give a disturbance warning, apparently. He brandishes a pile of detention notes threateningly. Everyone stiffens, except Shigure, and me. Probably a bad sign. Oh no, please, Mr. Ryota. Whatever could be wrong, Miss Oshihiro. And with a total lack of elegance, he flings the slips of paper over the banister of the roof. They rain down in shards of flapping pink to the school pool below. Listen, kids. You totally weren't here. The officers were totally just hallucinating. And I totally just did not toss those detention slips into the pool. Relief pops up on everyone's faces. Trust Mr. Ryota to be the rebel. Now scram before they fire me, yeah? We don't need any further encouragement. How is he still hired? You know, that's a great question. Like, they aren't gonna notice, oh, geez, there's just the number of detention slips that we provided the counselor who said that nothing was going up on the roof in the pool. I mean, you know, I know we're not supposed to give, you know, plebeians any credit in this game. It's either Shigure's way or everyone is an idiot, but... We rushed away from the rooftop greenhouse and down the stairs. Thankfully, the walk to the amusement park is uneventful. Nobody seems to notice when we pass by 6 police cars in the space of half an hour. Except for Yama and Shigure. The Palace theme park is startlingly successful, considering how recently it was founded, but that could be largely be credited to its cutting-edge attractions. Even minor details like the hologram park maps in every segment or the experimental cleaning robots whirring about. Everything makes the place seem like a piece of the future. Hydration time. Okay. Looks like Lemony Skate, or Lemony Skate, I don't know, really outdone themselves. Welcome, how many tickets? Yahiko swaggers to the front of the line, leaning on one elbow against the window. These are all my friends. You can buzz them in, right? Sorry, who are you? The rest of us exchange dubious glances as Yahiko jerks back, clearly shocked. I'm Yahiko Ikari. Who? Yahiko Ikari. You know, the son of the Ikaris. There's a flicker of recognition in the attendant's eyes, but she doesn't budge. I wasn't aware the Ikaris had a son. Of course they do, it's me. Sorry, sir, but do you have any proof? Knew you would ask. I'll just call them right up. Wait, Yahiko. He confidently dials a number into his phone. We wait, and wait some more. Then he lowers his phone, looking sheepish. Sorry, they must be busy. But I really am the son of the Ikaris. Look, I have, Enough, we are simply wasting time. Shigure pushes in front of him and hands out her card, as the register racks up to a startling number. Without further ado, we're ushered into the park, but not without some prominent glares from the staff. As we enter the main area, we're assaulted with smells of oily, overpriced food, and the cloying scent of sugar. Show photo ID? I know, right? That's what I was thinking, like, how does he not, I mean, at least a school ID, right? I don't know. Anyway, exhausted parents are being dragged from place to place by bouncing, squealing children. Godspeed. Sorry guys, I really thought I could get us in. It's, fine. If it wasn't for the fact that his expression is totally serious, I would probably be mocking him. He can't seriously be the son of some Lemniscate higher-ups. Before we proceed any further, I recommend that you all exchange contact information. Obnoxious as it may be, you are now all under my jurisdiction, and it's my responsibility to return you all safely. After a moment's pause, everyone moves into action. The only info I need to gather is Irie's, but the others seem to be having more difficulty. Won't you bestow upon me the honor of your number, my lady? Oh, and this is where your reputation as school princess backfires tremendously. I suppose it wouldn't be much trouble. He eagerly hands his phone to her, where she inputs her information slowly and agonizingly. Right, I've got an investigation to see to, so here we must part. Honestly, I'm surprised she isn't forcing us to investigate with her, especially considering that she paid. Irie, promise me you shall participate in everything. Thank you. Farewell. Duty calls. With that, she races off in the distance, cap bouncing merrily over her head. For some reason, after everyone's finished exchanging information, they all turn to me. Guess I'm supposed to decide where we go. Oh my god! The world has opened up to us, boys! Okay, does anybody in chat have any preferences? Before I choose. So, if so, speak now or forever hold your peace. If not, then, you know, I will pick one. Oh, you eventually go to the mall, so it just doesn't matter. Laser tag. All right, Lucas. Man, we're on the same page. That's actually what I was thinking. Let's do it! A large dome at the corner of the map catches my eye. I tap it for more details. Ultimate Laser Tag Center, brought to you by Lemniscate Site Code. Trademark. Lemniscate Site Code? That's the, glasses, right? They're goggles with interactive displays. It gives you stats and targeting cursors and a mini-map, so it feels like you're in a video game. Really? Yeah, we gotta give it a try. And he races off to the laser center without a second glance. I guess we're going there. Thankfully, no one seems to have any objections. We arrive at the attraction without any interruptions. We're admitted fairly quickly, maybe because our group is large enough to single-handedly create a game. Okay, we need 2 team captains. Hell yeah! Anyone who wants to win, join me! We'll be great at not only shooting stuff, but solving stuff. Join the Harvard Assassination Crew today. Harvard Assassination Crew? What kind of name is that? Well, that's one team captain. Who shall dare contest him? He bellows this like an announcer of some twisted reality show. I will. It's preferable to following an incompetent leader. Her enthusiasm is overwhelming. Well, the captains have been selected, so without further ado, it's time to start the draft. Captain Kurogane, you may pick your first minion. Rui. Well, that was quick. I get where he's coming from. Rui's thoughtful, but can be quick on her feet. She'd be a good selection. I don't think that's why he's picking her, necessarily, at least not entirely, but hey. At the same time, I don't see the rush to pick her first. It's not like Elizabeth would ever select her. A fair choice. Hayata is now aligned with the Harvard assassination crew. Captain Oshiro, it's your turn. You can pick 2 minions, as per drafting rules. Official drafting rules? From laser tag? It can't hurt. Oshiro, the clock's ticking. Elizabeth rolls her eyes, but glances between the remaining participants. Misaki. That's Kazahaya for you. Or not for you. For the, Resistance! We're the Resistance! What? Why the Resistance? I've always wanted to be part of a Resistance. Kazahaya has joined the Resistance. We're not the Resistance. But I want to be part of a Resistance. It's up to me to choose whether you're in a Resistance or not. So, it is the Resistance? We're not a Resistance. Thankfully, the clamor dies down when Yahiko raises a hand. You may pick 1 more minion, unless you wish to give up your advantage. Never! Considering that getting her here was akin to pulling teeth, she's remarkably engaged in all the activities, clearly competitive. I choose... Her eyes pass over Akira and flinch at Yahiko. For a few seconds, they flicker between me and Irie. Yama, get over here. Everyone falls to silence. For a long moment, all that can be heard is the faint hum of the overhead lights. You're serious? What? You weren't exactly happy with Yama earlier today. Can I pick who I want? I'm the captain. Oh, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. You want him? Not like that. I just want to win. Is that so wrong? No, nothing wrong at all. Guess we better get the show on the road, eh, folks? Captain Kurogane, your selection? You may choose 2 minions. Well, ain't you playing? That I am. Come on over to the Harvard assassination crew. Sweet! As Yahiko skips on over, Rui gestures wildly to Masato, tiptoeing to whisper in his ear. After a brief second, he nods. And the second one is Irie. Irie only blinks for a moment, but at Rui's friendly wave, she travels to Masato's group, which places Karube on the Resistance by default. That's Akira, right. It's not the Resistance. So, without further ado, let's get this game underway. I think it is. Don your gear, players! We'll see you on the fields of justice! With that, Masato leads his group to snatch up the lightweight vests and goggles and dash into the back room. Or black room, even. Elizabeth gathers us into a tight circle, her expression unreadable. Right. I believe it would be of optimal efficiency to place 2 members on assault, 1 on defense, and 1 as an intermediary. Misaki, what do you think of defense? Probably because she trusts Misaki the most. Excellent idea. Good. Yama and I shall lead the assault. Probably because she wants to keep an eye on me. Akira, leave it to me. Top tier intermediary, coming right up. What does an intermediary do? As we have 2 members on assault, you'll mainly be covering for Misaki. However, Misaki will generally stay in one location, while you run patrols. Gotcha! Mediocre class intermediary, coming right up! Elizabeth clearly ignores this. Instead, she heads to the rack, tossing vests and goggles at us. Yama. Yes, Your Highness? Don't be stupid. Yes, Your Highness? Although that might prove to be too difficult for you. I feel inspired already. Right, we've wasted enough time. Let's go. Wait, what about the team chant? We don't need one. She moves to the door, but Akira tugs on her elbow. We can't start a war without a chant. would be a travesty. Apparently, it would be a travesty if we used our time efficiently. Oh, come on. Team bonding is just as important as tactics and individual skill. Fine, but make it quick. Akira salutes her with a cheery wink and gathers us into a huddle. She speaks breathlessly, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. A day may come when the courage of men fails. Quickly, I said. Blah, blah, blah. Today, this day we fight! Thanks for the Lord of the Rings reference. Long live the Resistance! Ah, heck, why not? Long live the Resistance! Let's go, go, go! Deploy, deploy, deploy! Oh, what? They made a UI for this? Oh man, alright. We bolt into the dark room in our vests. We're swallowed in blackness. I slip my goggles over my eyes. The interface immediately switches on, providing me with slick infographics and motion cursors. Long live the Resistance, indeed, Lucas. Let us come together. Together we fight! In the upper left, I see team portraits that light up as each member speaks. This looks like site code. Looks like site code comes with comms. There's also a map, health count, ammo count, and notification notifier. Except, I'm missing a bullet? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Whoa. These are stunning. Oh, I gotta get me one of these. Presently, a hum washes over the large chamber, and the walls come to life with the images of the Academy cafeteria. Whoa, a live simulation? Lemony is truly ahead of their time. Let's get to our positions. Despite her brusque words, her face is open in wonder. Seems like she's also a fan. As we head to our places, the intercom cuts in with a mechanical-sounding female voice. Welcome to the field. Blue team. This is a standard capture the flag game. Best of 1. Your Lemony site codes display your health. Let it fall too far, and you shall be disqualified for the rest of the match. You should also note that your ammunition is limited. Use it wisely. As Akira and Misaki split towards our base on the rooftop, Elizabeth motions to me to a corner of the perimeter. Oh, are we gonna make out? Stuff it! This is the way to their base. A quick glance at the minimap confirms her claim. When the game starts, we go together, but cautiously. Isn't it better to attack from 2 different directions? Who's captain again? Oh, I see. You do want to make out. Stop it, bloody gallivanting mug. Off your trolley, stunk great ego. I can only grin at her as the intercom flickers to life. All players are within their team zone. The game will begin in 10 seconds. Cheerio to you, good chap. Oh, fuck. 8 seconds. I say, this ought to be a jolly good show. 5 seconds. I'm right knackered, I am. Yama. You called, Your Highness? She pauses for a moment, clearly struggling to keep a hold of herself. Oh. Do you know why I put you on assault with me? To make me miserable? Because, for some reason, the tiniest part of me believed that you might actually be great at it. Her words freeze me to the ground. My mind runs blank. I can only stare at her in disbelief. 0 seconds. The match has begun. A high-toned bell rings through the room. Elizabeth turns her attention to the corridors. Let's go. She stalks to the courtyard. Even as I follow her, my thoughts are a jumble in my head. Great at it? Great at anything? How could I be great at anything? I can't even do anything mildly well. Great? And why would Elizabeth tell me so? The girl who hates my guts. The girl whose guts I hate. Why would she say that I could be great at something? Stop! She throws out her hand. It collides with my chest, sending a rush of sparks up my spine. I quickly step back, shaking the feeling off. There, Yahiko Ikari. I turn to where she's pointing. Yahiko is seated on an artificial ledge, his gun on his lap. How you sit on an artificial ledge? How foolish. He won't even be able to shoot back. I heave bait I'm telling you, he's bait. Guess we better take care of him. I swiftly raise my gun, but Elizabeth slaps at my hand. Hold your gun properly. Excuse me, Your Highness. I didn't realize that laser tag had rules of combat. It can only help your accuracy, you know. She raises her own gun, her voice lowering to a concentrated whisper. Steady breathing, proper stance and grip are important, but a good trigger pull is what can make or break it. Her posture shifts carefully, as if gunning someone down was a common occasion. With laser-like focus, she finally moves her finger to the trigger. One sharp flick of the finger, the trigger clicks and Yahiko immediately jolts up, his hands flying to his goggles. Yow! Somebody shot me! Huh, that should have been a fatal shot. Laser tag would be really short with fatal shots. I'll be useful and shoot something. I obligingly poke my gun out of the hole and fire blindly. Aha! There you are! Not what I had in mind. You have a mind? Shut up and run. We race through the obstacles as shots sound all around us. Finally, we find an out-of-the-way corner where we pause to catch our breaths. Right. We must have a new plan. Such as? Yahiko is the only person on defense, and we passed no intermediaries on our way here. Paired with Masato's personality, it's highly likely that 3 people are on assault. So Misaki will be overrun. They probably have the flag by now. Oddly enough, I can respect her at the moment. She seems to know what she's doing. Well, where does that leave us? We'll have to kill them on their way back. Akira, come in. What's your status? Akira! Right, their comms must have been shot before they could alert us. We're on our own, Yama. So, what's the plan? You take the red flag and sprint back to our base as soon as possible. I'll hold them off while I can. But that's suicide. She draws her chin up and gestures to the entrance. Then it shall be a worthy sacrifice. Now go, and don't look back. Every passing second is a second wasted. The pulsing warble of laser guns draws closer. I obligingly dive around the corner and scoop the flag into my arm, as Elizabeth screams. Long live the resistance! Maybe she's taking this a little too seriously. Well, I guess it's time for me to get the flag to our base before Masato gets back to his. I sprint at full pace, winding through the simulated campus as I hear Elizabeth goading the other team into chasing her. With the flag in tow, I haphazardly make my way back to base. I've only got so much time before Elizabeth is shot. I'm hit. Looks like Masato actually left someone behind as a guard. Is that Irie? I swing around just in time to see a small figure diving behind cover. Crap, my health is at 50%. At the very least, I've still got a few chances left. Admittedly, laser tag would be pretty boring if one followed a one-shot, one-kill system. My grip on the pistol tightens as I peer from my little refuge. I line up my aim so that if a guard emerges, I have a chance to take them down first. Yeah, they put some effort into the UI, Lucas. Or not really UI, I guess it's just an overlay, but they updated it according to what was happening, which I can appreciate. Same thing with the ammo count. I can't react fast enough. Neither of those shots hit when the guard darted from cover to cover. 4 shots left. It feels like I couldn't hit them even if my gun was full. I'm down to 25% of my health, maybe 20 meters away from capturing the flag. After all of Elizabeth's hard-earned work, too. Yeah, screw it. I charge towards the back table, ignoring the danger behind me. Standing around like that's just going to get me killed. I dive behind the nearest piece of cover as I hear my enemy's laser pistol flare to life. It's down to the wire now. Final chance, right? I stand up, blindly firing my remaining shots at the figure that's just a few feet away. The figure drops their gun in defeat as the dead icon pops up over them. I'm dead. Time for a peach! With that, Irie places her gun on the nearby bench and pulls out a peach to munch on without a second thought. Apparently getting killed doesn't mean much. That was somewhat anticlimactic, especially given how lucky I was to have shot her despite me firing haphazardly. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I'm dead, Peach. I promptly plant the red flag on our stand. It glows in response, and after a second of humming, clicks into place. A clear high tone brings the game to a close. Game over. Victory to blue. The hell? Please exit the room. But I got the flag! Please stop arguing with an artificial voice and exit the room. Masato's grumbling is prominent, but I notice dark shapes converging at the exit. Guess I better follow them. It takes a few moments to adjust to the blinding sunlight. Still, everyone seems to be fairly happy. Everyone except Masato, of course. We're the rightful winners! Well, we would have been if someone didn't go on a wild goose chase instead of returning the flag. I was gonna! As soon as I caught up to the trash talker, I mean. Then you probably shouldn't complain. Amidst the commotion, I notice Elizabeth is strangely quiet. I was expecting her to gloat with her victory, maybe toss in a few snappish better-than-thou comments here or there. But she's just standing by the map, a faraway look in her eyes as her lips are pulled into a smile. Well, it couldn't be helped. We had the best leader, you know. I bet Yama took charge. Oh no, we were led to victory beneath the banner of the wise Elizabeth Oshiro. She came up with all those fancy tactics and everything. To my surprise, Elizabeth blushes slightly and lowers her head. Really? Good job. Thank you. Somehow, those simple words felt like more than a compliment. Yeah, let's keep going. I'll get my revenge. Oh, I'm counting on it. Thankfully, the conflict feels teasing rather than biting. I return the map with a smile to pick our next destination. Okay, so we once again return to the menu. It does look like we'll probably be going to all of these, so... Extreme Carousel! Boss Fight Arena or Extreme Carousel? I'm gonna go Extreme Carousel, because, hey, how can you pass up the extreme in Extreme Carousel? Oh, Cap, do you see that? I look to where she's rapidly waving her arm and find myself staring at a little carousel. Extreme! Yeah, it's a bit underwhelming. Oh no, behind it! Behind it? I look upward. Behind the kid-friendly circle of ponies is a much larger, much taller carousel, with its seats rising into the air as it spins. And the seats are... dragons. We can fly to the 7 seas and beyond, Cap. Who wouldn't want to do that? Probably someone afraid of heights, which no one in the group seems to be. I'm afraid of heights. Terrible with heights. Well, what are your guys' thoughts? Sounds great. You're exempt. You agree to everything Akira says. I so do not. I say we go for it. Trying new things is always a great idea. Doesn't look all that exciting to me, but I got worse. I have to get a... Oh, excuse me. Sudden yawn, just couldn't suppress it. I get to have a dragon for a minion? Oh, you too, Lucas, huh? I look to Irie and Elizabeth, but they only shrug. Great, time to ride the spinning wheel of death. It's, gotta be safer than a roller coaster, right? We trot briskly, a little too briskly for my tastes, to the line, where Akira points excitedly to the carousel. Hey, Rui! Do you see what I see? I look to where she's pointing. A couple of seats. Or rather, a couple seats, of course. I don't know what you're saying. Why, you and the Cap should ride together, of course. Why would I want to ride with Yama? He's so fat! Excuse me? I'm sure she just meant to say that you're big boned, Cap. That's definitely not what surprised me. I honestly don't see anything of Yama's that can be called fat. So unfair. He doesn't even exercise. I do, on occasion. Yeah, when all the planets align and the blue moon rises. He was fit as a bull when he was in track. You could be a real hotshot if you just joined track again, Cap. And why would I do that? Good aim with firearms is important. She didn't mean that kind of hotshot, Irie. Then what did she mean? The attendant chooses that moment to raise the barrier. Rui snaps to attention with a grin that's a little too shiny. Oh boy, wow, guess it's time to go. We sure don't want to hold up the line. I really feel like stretching my legs. Like elephant leg room. Solo pod for me. My legs get all wobbly when I'm somewhere that isn't directly connected to the ground within 2 meters. Oh, I hear you, man. I recently got a PlayStation VR headset. And I've played a few games and, experiences that very much deal with heights, and my stomach always just churns whenever I play those games. Like, oh god, it's really unsettling, but it's cool. It's really cool. Before anyone in the group can blink, she immediately leaps into a one-person dragon seat and straps herself in. Behind her, floods of people push past us, struggling to secure the best spots. Clearly, Rui hasn't watched enough dramas to know what happens when you defy fate. Need to get a PSVR headset one day. It's pretty cool, As the technology gets cheaper, if you already have a PS4, it's something to consider. But, I know that they're also heading towards the PlayStation 5 soon. They did say that the VR stuff would be... Actually, I think everything is going to be backwards compatible. So that's cool. But also the camera and move controls and stuff, the technology is just outdated. So unless you're really interested in it, you may want to wait for the next generation of hardware that comes out, but it just depends on, your interest in it. What happens? I have no clue. I haven't watched enough dramas either. You die, murdered in cold blood. Right. Ah, you're heading out, Sergey? Thanks for dropping in, man. Have a nice night. Get some sleep. You and Rui are like really bad depth perception. You look like you're really close, but you're actually not. This might be a novel concept, but Rui and I are independent people. Sometimes we like to do things on our own. But why do something on your own when you can do it together? That sounds really unhealthy. Just because you can do something together doesn't mean you should. You strike me as the kind of person who doesn't like to ask for help, Cap. That's really random. Not really. See, there's kind of people who would say, just because you can do something alone doesn't mean you should. That means they can't do anything on their own. Oh, I don't think that's it. What's the point of life if you never affect other people? This conversation is taking an interesting turn. I lean in despite myself. What do you mean by that? Well, if you live as a hermit in the Alps and you don't do a single thing, then the world would be the exact same whether you live or die. So shouldn't you just always be looking to affect other people? Interesting. The crazy Akira has thoughts like these. You can end up having a negative impact, so no, not really. Think about the difference of impact between Stalin versus, I don't know, some random citizen who buys a homeless guy some coffee. But either way, Cap, that random citizen was still affecting humanity. Doing everything alone seems lonely. I pause at that. Yes, it really does. Hey, you two might want to hurry up before all the seats are taken. We're on it, Highness. But when I look up, of course, everything but the couple seat is going to be taken. I notice all the solo spaces are occupied, leaving only the couple vehicles. Well, this should be pretty simple. Akira and I can ride together, negating the risk of putting up with some idiot stranger. Akira, which one do you want? Eh? We're boarding together? What, you'd rather be with a stranger? I always enjoy the opportunity to make someone's day a little more surreal. Usually I'd believe her, but something about her seems unusually fidgety. Come on, I'm not putting up with some random kid who will barf all over me. I hook my arm around hers and pull her to the nearest two-seater, a nice golden dragon with overly long lashes, to make it look distinctly feminine. She promptly sits down, her face completely blank, and I strap on the seatbelt over us. She doesn't say a single word, even when I'm done prepping the vehicle. What's wrong? On the contrary, what's right? Pardon? Nothing! She turns her head and stares resolutely out the window so I can't see her face. I wait for her to start some random conversation, but she says nothing. Kira. No response. The attendant drops by our car and closes the door. She takes one look at Akira and one look at me and raises an eyebrow. Girlfriend mad? She seems to be saying. I try to shake my hands in the universal, no, this is not my girlfriend, but she seems to take it as, I swear I didn't do anything wrong, and only shakes her head as she walks away. Did I make Akira mad? Totally not feeling awkward because she likes her friend's, not really boyfriend, but childhood friend who clearly is hot on him, and man, this is an awkward triangle. Akira, are you mad? No. Oh, okay. More silence. Another attendant's voice drones on as the beginning procedure of the ride. Still nothing from Akira. So, how's life? No response. Akira might as well have turned to stone. The ride starts up in a cranky whirl, and our vehicle begins to pick up speed, rising into the air. We ascend for a few moments, stopping at a nice intermediate point on around 10 feet off the ground. Having fun? Still nothing. What's going on? Hey, Akira. And they're off! What fine specimens of Draconis Rex gracing the ring! It's no secret that the crowd favorite in the famous Freddy, world champion for the past 120 seasons of the Dragon races. Why, at this very moment, we can see the money exchanging hands, because in this fictional world, betting is totally not illegal. I have no clue where this is coming from, but somehow it's a relief. I'll take a weird Akira over a quiet Akira any day. Still, it doesn't take a genius to notice that she's completely ignoring me. She won't even glance in my direction. So, Akira. Come on, Freddy, I didn't raise you to be a loser. Win this race or I'm grounding you for a month. She leans forward and slams a firm hand onto the neck of our dragon, which startles me. Our steed flies higher, as if in response. That's more like it. Show me that my life savings spent on JPDA certified grass-fed, gluten-free organic carrots will pay dividends. Aren't carrots for horses? Some dragons are vegetarian. Are you mocking their dietary sacrifices? I really didn't peg you as such a dragonist person. What? You see, I am the esteemed Sir Angle, trainer of dragons worldwide, and you are just insignificant little Sir Caraway. A is for horses. Why those names? I'm Angle because I want to be an angel, but no matter how close I get, I can't. You're Caraway because whenever you have a care, you throw it away. At this, Akira seems to renew her determination to ignore me, because she turns forward again, renewing the scolding of her erstwhile dragon. Freddy, you must redeem yourself! There's rising newcomers on the scene, Backwater talents like Rukif, Liftable, and Hagen are all taking respectable nations by storm. Their respective nations, even. Don't tell me that your age is getting to you. I mean, he's been around at least 120 years, apparently. That's pretty old by my standards. The end is in sight. Go for the finish, Freddy! But as she stands up in her seat, only to be stopped by a belt, and waves one arm dramatically forward, the ride begins to slowly lower, pulling back in speed. No! But yes, our time on the ride has come to an end, judging from the deceleration. This seems to push Akira into a frenzy. I should have known. If you are what you eat, then Freddy just became a JPDA certified grass-fed gluten-free organic carrot. And no race can be won by a JPDA certified grass-fed gluten-free organic carrot. She doesn't look at me even as she unbuckles the seatbelt and jumps out of the vehicle. I barely catch her arm as she leaves. Hey Akira, what's the big deal? You let go of that arm, Cap. She suddenly sounds very, very serious. I let go of her arm. You're avoiding me, aren't you? Avoiding your face is very different from avoiding you, Cap. What's that supposed to mean? It means that it's time to meet up with the others. She bounds away before I can stop her. Great. Guess I'll have to follow along. The rest of the group has reconvened by the map, some noticeably more thrilled than others. How is it, Rui, being in a pod, by yourself? No, not you too, Miki. Akira, how is it for you? Me? Oh, I had fun. I sat in a pod with this kid who I convinced to check out Governmecker. Yeah, I'm sure it was good and all, but why don't we do something more exciting? The clamor of the group is starting to get to me, so I focus on Masato's statement. What do you suggest we try? You pick something, man. Thanks. Delegation at its finest. Right. Guess it's time to take another look at the map. Excuse me. Alright, so it's time for the box fight arena, I think, guys. A pop-up box in the upper corner of the map catches my attention. Live, Lemniscate bot showcase, the future of gaming. Intrigued, I note the showcase is located just further down the path. Say, what do you guys think about this? I point at the announcement. Robots? Say, Cat, do you think they'll be giant fighting map monsters? I can say with certainty that they won't. It sounds fun. I say we give it a shot. Okay, any objections? Yes, your shoes, Minion, need an upgrade. Why haven't you bought a new pair since I first met you? Objections to the bot showcase. Let's go. Wait, smiling? Genuinely? For non-food related reasons? I don't think I've ever seen Irie so excited. We could pop by. If it's not interesting, we'll go to something else. No one says a word. I take this as confirmation as we head down the path. Just behind a metal building, a modest portable stage is set up, flanked by screens projecting a live, closer view. A row of assorted small mechas are lined up at the edge of the stage, in front of which stands a Lemniscate representative. It's Governmecker, but in real life! We settle right in front of the stage. There's not many viewers besides us. Looks like the staff is still setting up. I wonder if they'll let people actually try them. I hope so. What use is a showcase if the target audience can't even try it? I don't know. These kinds of things usually involve demonstration matches to make the technology look a lot better than it actually is. That does seem likely. They may just choose a victim to beat up. That ain't fair, man. Whoever they choose to represent Lemniscate will probably be as unstoppable as the final boss. It does not matter. It is a game, and games must be played by the rules. I'm about to ask Irie what exactly this cryptic piece of information means, but a blast from the speakers quickly ends our conversation. Come one, come all, and see for yourself the top-of-the-line fighting bot straight from Lemniscate's laboratories. Robotic fans, you might want to listen up. Hydration time. Okay. A crowd begins to form behind us, attracted by the representative's announcement. I notice the wide majority of people are young adults. Lemniscate really knows their target audience. This is one of our star beta testers, Raiden Ajibana. He'll be showing you some of the awesome stuff that this new generation of bots can do. The representative steps from back from the stage, leaving room for a big man with short cropped hair to step to the front, holding up the robot of his choice. It's medium size, around as big as my head, sleek in shape, and boasting beautiful colors of deep cobalt and silver. The crowd oohs and ahs in appreciation. Oh mama, I think I've got to get me one of those. The beta tester, Rumble, steps back and gently lays the robot on stage. Cameras zoom in for a better view, ready to capture the action. The crowd waits with bated breath as the Rumble cracks his knuckles. He holds out his hand, into which the representative places a sleek controller. The Mayfly ascends, performs its duties required, and it is no more. Hey there, Akimas. Welcome to the stream, how you doing? And suddenly the robot is alive in a whirl of silver and blue, leaping around stage like a dancing grasshopper. Rumble smiles confidently as his hands fly over the controller, stringing together flawless combos like the world's most skilled fighting gamer. Wow! Art and movement. Good to hear, Akimas. Welcome to the stream. Amazing! The crowd claps wildly. I already see several young men digging out their phones and punching rapidly at their screen, no doubt reworking their budget. I might not understand gaming, but I can definitely appreciate skill. Rumble brings the routine to a slow, letting the robot, what's that called, Purrier? I think is the way you say that. Like a professional ballerina, before sweeping into a curtsy. He's met with an even louder round of applause. Thank you, Rumble. Wonderful work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to open up the floor. Would anyone like to face Rumble? So this is clearly Irie's thing, so is she gonna mop the floor with him? The representative grins, and with a slight touch of cockiness. I'll make you guys a deal. If you manage to defeat Rumble in a best of 3, you could take one of these robots home with you. And with a confidence I've never seen before, Irie's hand shoots into the air, as expected. As the rest of us openly balk at her, the representative's eyes sparkle, no doubt seeing a small girl as easy prey for Rumble. Miss, come on up to the stage! Irie gracefully, a little too gracefully, vaults onto the stage, ignoring the representative's extended hand. What's your name, miss? Irie Hiragana. I see you're wearing an academy uniform. What year are you in? Second. And how are you finding it? Fine. Great conversationalist, I see. So, why do you want to try your hand against Rumble, if I might ask? Irie stares blankly at her hand for a long moment. Uh-oh, she might not know what try your hand actually means. I'm not trying. Whoa, what bold words! Miss Hiragana claims she doesn't even need to try against Rumble. I'm pretty sure that's definitely not what Irie meant. Rumble, what do you have to say to that? The insect believes itself to be king over insignificance. And Rumble's retort is just as strong. Well, folks, are you excited or what? The crowd cheers, egged on by the representative's skillful height building. I find myself wishing for Irie to crush Rumble to the ground. Irie has a tough road ahead of her. That rep is just twisting her words, man. It builds hype. It's exciting, in my opinion. Come on, guys, let's root for Irie. Give me an A! A! Give me an I! I! Give me an... Shush, they're talking. The disorganized team cheer immediately dies down as the representative pulls the microphone back to her lips. Let's see what our bot challenger will select for herself. Miss Hiragana, feel free to pick any of the bots from the row. Irie contemplatively paces down the row, stopping from time to time. It feels less like she's stuck with indecision, and more like she's examining the bots down to their basic molecules. Pick the coolest one! Pick the cutest one! Pick the most effective one! Pick the one you can beat him with! Pick the most innovative one! Pick a peck of pickled peppers! I had to say that slower, because else I was going to trip over that phrase without a doubt. Just absolutely. Irie ignores the incoherent din from our group and eventually settles on a humble, boxy little box at the end of the line. The crowd goes completely silent in shock at her decision. Tell me about this bot. Are you sure about your choice? I need more information. Ah, right. This tricky little guy. Most of the testers weren't exactly sure what to do with him. He looks very unintimidating, but don't be mistaken. If you play your cards right, you can change his form by extending or contracting the panel on all of his sides. It's extremely flexible, hence why testers are still having a go to figure out the best way to use him. I see. He's challenging. The most, but not very beginner-friendly, Miss Hiragana. Then I select him. Why does it sound like she's more looking for a challenge than a victory? Very well. Our ambitious challenger is certainly looking for an upset. Let's get ready for round 1. Irie sets her humble little bot at the edge of the ring, exactly opposite Rumble's bot. The representative hands her a controller. Irie frowns when she sees it. Is this for the bot? Of course, it's certainly not for my television. The crowd's answering chuckle almost drowns out Irie's response. It looks exactly like Ravred. The representative ignores her and instead lifts her hand into the air, ready to cue the match. Oh, BattleBots, Lucas. I didn't watch that show much, but I saw like a lot of commercials for it when I was a kid, so I totally remember that. Ravred, what the heck is that? Round 1, Rumble versus Challenger. And fight! The crowd cheers as the representative chops her hand off. The stage erupts with light, signifying the start of the round. For a moment, Rumble charitably sits back, letting Irie experiment with her bot. From what I can tell, it's essentially a box on wheels. I watch it roll forward, then watch it roll backwards. I watch it roll side to side. It seemed pretty neat. People made their own bots and then they battled like in a cage, almost a game show like stage, right? Then one of the sides falls down. No, wait, the entire side is a matrix of smaller panels. Interesting. Seems like the entire box can be transformed, give or take a few limitations. But instead of experimenting further, Irie only retracts the panel and extends the opposite side. Seems like she doesn't really know what to do. Oh? I don't see it that way. What do you mean? You should ask Yahiko. He plays quite a few games, you know. Since when has Misaki known Yahiko more than me? My curiosity overtakes me, and I eke over to Yahiko. Do you know what she's doing? She'll try a basic attack next. I watch the stage. Sure enough, one of the robot's sides turns away and swivels on a tiny limb, like a miniature sharp-edged shield. Now a 6A 214B. A what? My sentiments exactly. The bot repeats its shield cut attack and suddenly hoists a panel over and behind it. Yahiko seems extremely pleased. She might try something a little more complex next, like a 6A 8-hit C, 6C 2D. The clumsy-looking bot suddenly moves in a whirl of rotating panels. I can't tell what's happening, but it seems to just make Yahiko even more excited. I knew it! It's just like Ravred! What's Ravred? But he doesn't answer me because Rumble has started to move. His bot elegantly skates around Irie's, which is still rolling cheerily around and flipping its sides. One quick sharp blow sends the poor boxy bot crashing straight into the edges of the ring. Oh, that one's got a sting! The bot shakily rights itself and starts wheeling away from Rumble, tearing around the ring like a panicking civilian in the middle of a war zone. Even as it flees, I see Irie experimenting with some structural changes, like extending, flipping, and morphing its panels to create different shapes. She doesn't even try to land an attack on Rumble's bot. Basically, she's trying to understand the bot's identity. She's going through its moves systematically. Do you think she has a chance? Only if she finds something really unique that beta testers would never expect. Unfortunately, it's at this moment when Rumble predicts Irie's walk path and flies at her bot, crushing it decisively to the ground. The representative whips her down her hand, and we try that again. The representative whips down her hand, even as segments inside the bot piece it back together. The winner of this round is Rumble. The crowd politely claps. It's clear to their eyes, Irie doesn't have a fraction of a chance against an experienced beta tester. But I saw some promise in the way she was messing with that form of her bot. A bot with structural changes. As you can see, it only takes a few seconds for the bot to repair itself. No more long waiting between rounds. Players, are you ready? Irie nods quietly, a faint smile flickering across her lips. Rumble says nothing. Round 2, and fight! This time, Rumble immediately explodes into action. His bot leaps gracefully at Irie's. Irie barely manages to swerve it away before the ground where it was standing is angrily dented. Rumble's assault is relentless. He never allows for a single second for Irie to recover. chasing doggedly after her bot without a break. Not once does his bot lose its footing or crash into a wall, such is the extent of his control. And then, right before his latest jump is about to crash into Irie flattens her bot into its original width, with the swirling mass of panels narrowly dodging Rumble's strike. She takes the split second required for Rumble's recovery to bounce back to original size, slamming panels straight into Rumble's back in an unhurried, smooth combo. Yahiko grins widely as Irie's bot pummels Rumble around in a terrifying wall pin. Dude, her combos are slick! I should fight her sometime! As he's finishing this sentence, Rumble's bot suddenly shimmers off and gives a short pulse of energy, sending Irie's bot flying back. Dude, I didn't know these bots had bursting! I have no clue what he's saying, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying the match. Irie's clearly getting the hang of her bot. She changes into diagonals, L-shaped patterns, and even fall curves to dodge Rumble's attacks. Sometimes his bot lands a glancing blow, but it's never severe enough to catch her in a combo. Finally, she manages to curve around his bot and slam one final combo into his backside, sending it crashing into the ring. The crowd claps, but this time they seem much more impressed. Even the representative looks surprised. Solid display, challenger! This round goes to you! Rumble's face is completely motionless. He doesn't even look dismayed. Dude, this next round is going to be so intense. What do you mean? You'll see. Within seconds, Rumble's bot has reassembled itself and returned to its original position. Irie is smiling in utter satisfaction, as if she's completely forgotten that the audience exists at all. Maybe she's just having fun playing with the bot. The final deciding round, ladies and gentlemen, will Rumble be able to redeem himself, or will the challenger score an unprecedented underdog win? 3, 2, 1, fight! If I thought the last match was intense, this one is just a blur of color and motion. It's clear that Rumble is no longer holding anything back. His bot moves with crazy speed, but above all, total control and precision. Irie's movements are clearly rougher, even though she's mastered the structural reorganization of her bot. It almost looks like she's not used to 3D space. Come on, Irie, you can do it! The fate of the world rests on your shoulders, chosen one! Irie barely skates out of Rumble's favored landing combo, but she turns so sharply that her bot stumbles away. Rumble's lips twitch into a smirk. It was an honor, but your time draws to an end. May you make your peace. And he hits her solidly, sending her bot flying into the air. Yahiko winces. It's over. Air combo into a ground pound. But as Rumble leaps after Irie, she flattens into a vertical plank that better cuts through the air resistance, falling before he can land a blow. Although surprised, Rumble reorients his bot to hold out his foot for a single devastating dive kick. I don't see how she can get out of this. Trying to change forms and move will take too long, but she can't move while she's in a plank, while she's still a plank. And if she doesn't return to her usual form, the kick will put so much heavy damage on the bot that I don't see her recovering the match. And this must be the end of the series. And then I see Irie's fingers flying over the controller, and her boxy bot rapidly disassembling into a condensed brick. And then I understand. As Rumble's bot soars forward, foot extended, ready to strike the killing blow, Irie's bot melts into an indestructible brick settled onto the ground, biding its time. And then, just at the right moment, Irie mashes her hand on the controller. The metal brick springs upward, slapping right into the Rumble bot, and spring. And as if in slow motion, Rumble's bot sails into the air, flipping into a perfect double axel, head over heel, right over the bounds of the fighting box, and plummets into the middle of the audience. Silence stretches over the crowd as they try to process what's happened. The mic drops from the representative's hand, barely and mercifully muted in time before it hits the stage. Rumble stares blankly at his controller as if he's trying to wake himself from a dream. Irie stares blankly at her controller as if she's suddenly and uncontrollably hungry. Fists of our cheering team are stopped mid-pump into the air, looking like we're in the middle of a half-hearted fistfight. And then, the winner of the round, and therefore the set, is Hiragana even, the new challenger. The representative numbly stammers, like me, these words, still in shock. Another moment of dead silence passes. Then the crowd erupts into cheers. She did it, dude! Look at the moves! Look at the plays! Irie, what was that? She won! She really won! That was incredibly impressive. Huh, the tiny one's got some surprises up her sleeve. And I scored a perfect shot of the winning moment. Woo! Go Irie. Irie stands to her feet with a broad smile, bowing politely at her opponent. Even. Rumble doesn't seem the least bit irritated. Truly on this day, we have met well in wartime. Challenger Irie. He bows his head in respect, solemnly walks into the crowd to pick up his bod, and disappears behind the stage. Wow, how incredible! Despite all odds, it seems as if the challenger has come away victorious. Miss Hiragana, what are your thoughts on... Miss Hiragana? But Irie has already walked to the edge of the stage, seemingly ignorant of the representative's queries. She quietly leaps down, only to get swarmed by our group. Good job, Irie! That was amazing. You really showed them. How were you able to understand the system so quickly? The controller plays just like Ravred. A fighting game, right? Yes, you play? But of course! See, the Ravred Mecha Warrior was actually the inspiration for the design of President J. Graves' bot. Of course, Governmecker. Just like all our roads lead to Rome, all of Yahiko's comments lead to Governmecker. I see. Perhaps we should play sometime. She sounds hesitant at the idea, but I can't discern why. Maybe she doesn't want to play with Yahiko, but then she wouldn't make the offer in the first place. I'm down. They walk back down the road, chattering eagerly about video games, of all things, completely ignoring the hapless representative. You only watched one Governmecker. So far, I've watched every single one. Come to think of it, wasn't Irie supposed to win one of the robots? Not that she seems to care. I wonder if we should accept Irie's robot for her. It's not our choice, Miki. I know. I lead the group back to the map, showing some mercy upon the poor representative. After all, her higher-ups can't be too happy about bargaining a new prototype on a whim. It's probably best if we let this be, considering the only person who deserves to care is Irie. And Irie, well, she seemed more happier about playing with the bot than the actual victory itself. Irie and Yahiko are already waiting for us by the campus map. Dude, you guys are so slow. Maybe you're just always in a rush to go places. Some people like leisurely walks. Leisurely walks? We don't have time for that. Look at all the stuff we gotta hit. Yama, my minion, lead us on. You have a good head for efficiency. We really have that much stuff to explore? I take a look at the map to verify what we have left. We still have a lot of stuff to explore. Woo! Oh my god, I am so parched, guys. I gotta finish this drink. But even then, I'm gonna have to get some more pretty soon. Oops, I just minimized the window. Okay. Governmaker is awesome. Okay. Tower drop. Tower drops scare the ever-living hell out of me, by the way, because I am scared of heights, so I've literally never gone on one. Yeah, I gotta go through them all. I mean, I see why they're doing this, because it's kind of, like, quite obviously, each selection is kind of highlighting a trait of one of the characters, so we're getting to know the cast better, which is good, because, you know, not only because we don't know that much about a lot of the characters, but also because it's been a really long time since I played, so this is very helpful for me. One or two things are actually relevant later on. Okay, cool. Never going to get on a tower drop. Me neither! No chance. But let's do a tower drop. Because it's not real life. Several terrified screams from nearby turn my attention to a tower of twisted metal that seems to stretch to the sky. Masato eagerly nudges me in the ribs, pointing frantically at said tower of twisted metal. Hey Yama, you and me! What? The tower drop, man! No. There are more elegant ways of suicide, you know. I'm totally with Rui on this. And Yama, actually. It ain't suicide, it'll be awesome! Clearly, his definition of an awesome vastly differs from mine, or any sane person's definition of awesome. Have fun. You gotta come with me. What the hell? Okay. Siri turned on my iPad and thought I said something to her. That was weird. It's literally across the room, so I was like, is someone in this room with me? What the hell's going on? Suddenly, this turned into a horror game. Ahem. Anyway, back to the game. What? Why? It's destiny, man! Can't you hear it calling you? The ground is calling me more. Stop babying around. Think of it this way. Gravity's acceleration is 9.8 meters per second squared, and this tower is maybe 125 meters high. If we plug in to figure out needing the end in velocity of a fallen object, we get the square root of 2 times 9.8 times 125, which is 1225, and that gets us 49.5. The mystery part can be horror at times. That's true. I guess I should have said that, you know. I should have said that it now is in the mystery segment of the game. Anyway, bam! Our end velocity is 49.5 meters per second downward, neglecting air resistance, of course. Then we plug that into the time equation. To get the time, we gotta divide our velocity numbers by gravity numbers. So 49.5 divided by 9.8, which gives us something around 5.05 seconds. This all means that if the tower breaks, you'll only be terrified out of your wits for 5.05 seconds before you die a quick and painless death. Thanks, that's really reassuring. Still, this sudden display of intelligence leaves everyone in shocked silence. Masato easily grasps me by the arm and lugs me to the tower. Sometimes I think Masato's a lot smarter than I give him credit for, you think? Rui's expression says it all, indeed. I feel an impending sense of doom as the attendant straps me into the tower seat, leaving my legs dangling in thin air. I don't see why anyone would do this for fun. I am so with Yama. Being terrified is fun, man! Yeah, masochist. My stomach lodges in my throat as our seats begin to rise. I notice that there's a hyperventilating girl to my left, and further down a kid that looks like he's about to vomit. You should calm down, man. You look like little Habiki? Like Ryoga Hibiki? Habi what? Habiki, my bro, 8 years old. Oh, I didn't know you had a little brother. I got lots of them, and more to spare. 4 little tykes to look after. Huh. Wait a minute. 4 siblings? You really didn't know? Who in their right mind would have 5 children? 8, technically, but the older ones are in college. You realize that just makes things more outrageous, right? How could 2 people possibly take care of 8 children? You saying the mom and pa didn't raise us right? Well, honestly, if every member of their family is as capable as Masato, I'd be terrified of how much power they have. 8, yeah. What was it like growing up? Oh, it was amazing. We learned how to fight tooth and nail for our survival. Is that psychologically healthy? How did you, survive? Competitions, man. Competitions are the answer to everything. Things are beginning to make a lot more sense. Indeed. So you had to fight for your food when you were a baby. Nah, Ma fed me then. What about when you were a toddler? Ah, come on. No Kurogane lets another Kurogane starve. What, then why did you have competitions at all? Huh, I get you now, Yama. I was kind of thinking, you know, why don't you try at anything? I get it now. It's because you don't want anything. Something about his words cuts deeper than I expect. What does that have to do with, anything to do with food competitions? That's true, GLHF. Easy. We all wanted desserts, so we fought for them. So you split the regular food, but fought for treats. Yep. If nothing else, talking with Masato helps distract me from the dizzying plunge beneath my feet. I search for more questions to keep my mind occupied. How'd your parents manage to feed 8 children? The older ones work, including me. You have a job? Track is my job. You get paid. I get a scholarship. Same thing. How will you pay for college? Also scholarship. I need a full ride. Nothing less can do. I can't help but feel undeservedly privileged. I've never had to worry about money, even during Isamu's down points. Is that what all your siblings have done? It's the Kurogane tradition, man. Maya's the oldest. She trained herself in Taekwondo till she could work and pay for her own lessons. Got a scholarship to Seoul Uni after she won nationals. And Yudai, he's the second oldest. Prodigy at piano. Played in the music shop, cause Mon Pog ain't got one. Happened to run into some dude from Juilliard. And next thing you know, he's got a plane ticket to New York. I slouched in shock. From the sounds of it, the Kuroganes could conquer the universe if they so desired. So what? Here it comes, man! Brace yourself! He clutches to his armrest as our seats begin to plummet to the ground. While I've never had a huge aversion for heights, the sudden change of momentum twists my guts into knots. The vertigo throws me into nausea as wind screams past my ears and into my hair. Yeah! After a long, long moment, we finally reach the bottom, and somehow still in one piece. Now that's a ride! A ride straight to hell. The instant the attendant releases us, I bolt back to the comfort of safety on shaky knees. Well, look who's back. Shut up. But you look like you were having so much fun. Wanna go, Rui? Huh? Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Actually, I think she would love to go. Come on, Rui. No. I'm very much fine. Hey, Yama, let's pick something. I don't mind waiting, if you really want to go on. Miki, then! I smirk at her obvious discomfort, but obligingly turn back to the map. Tech Sandbox, the Showcase, or the Ferris wheel? I guess we'll just go in order, because none of these I'm like, whatever. Hey, look at that, a tech promotion! He points excitedly at the map, reading in a clear, loud voice. Grab a group of friends, see into each other's phones, see the truth, conquer the world. That just sounds all layers of sketchy. I'm not crazy about that idea. But think how much power you can have. If you know what everyone wants, you can be the most powerful king on the planet. He excitedly runs off before I can call a vote. Exasperated, I turn to the rest of the group. Are we really doing this? It's sponsored by the park. It's bound to be safe. We'll have the opportunity to see some state-of-the-art tech. The park doesn't concern me. I know they have to deal wisely with proceedings or else they'll land in some deep trouble. No, I'm far more worried about what our group will do with the information they get from one another. We drop into the tiny air-controlled facility following on Yahiko's heels. The area is full of commotion, primarily from other young adults laughing, shouting, and clearly trying to embarrass each other with freshly gathered dirt. Hey everyone, guess who Yukiko likes? Shut up! Yeah, what exactly is this exhibit about? Yahiko's already chatting it up with one of the attendants. He returns to us in a few minutes, bouncing eagerly on his toes. Okay, so here's how it works. We each have an opportunity to do a little digging on each other for a few minutes. Then we engage in an ultimate battle of wits by running a campaign for dictator of the world? Wait, slow down. What exactly do you mean? Well, we use the information we learn to convince other people to vote for us. Like we can blackmail each other, or make some kind of promise. Wait, what? How will we do that? I've just met some of you today, after all. Oh, don't worry, Miki. Usually, Luminiscate phones have really advanced security features, so they can't be hacked. The only visible information is what users want to share. Yeah, they'd like us to believe that, wouldn't they? Well, guess what? Here we can choose to lower that security and look into each other's phones. That's a huge breach of privacy. Location information, browsing history, usage statistics, even message and call history, all at your fingertips. What part of this sounds fun? Are we even speaking the same language? Well, in that case, this sounds interesting. I thoroughly agree. Huh, I got nothing to hide. Sounds like a party and a half. Guess that settles it. What's going on? Don't they understand the danger? Is everyone sadistic? I'm reminded of the time when Yahiko wanted to jump off the roof to test if he could fly with umbrellas. Him and his supposedly brilliant ideas. I send some quiet thanks to whoever decided to build the pool straight below the railing. Guys? Sweet, Misaki, would you mind alerting that fine lady of our decision? Misaki obediently runs off and grabs the attendant, who starts to outline the rules. The first phase of the game would involve 10 minutes of concentrated research. All firewalls shut down. Everyone would look into one another's phones. The second phase of the game would involve utilizing that information in an attempt to gather a following of minions. Somehow if you actually brought this up to people, they'd all say no, like Yama. Yeah. 100%. What exactly that entails, nobody knows. It's probably intentionally vague to leave room for interpretation. It sounds like a game around as fishy as the technique it's using, so I seized the opportunity to sit back and run the timer. I'm curious what my friends could be hiding, but not enough to sacrifice my own privacy. Right, are we all ready? Yama's being a party pooper, but aside from that, we're good. Embrace the future, Yama. This is the ideal of technology. What? Privacy invasion? I'll stick with pen and paper, thanks. Ha! Are you an old man? You don't even use pen and paper. I would if I had a pen that worked. You can always, I don't know, buy one? Now why would I do that? Oh, come on, let's just get started. Yama isn't gonna join us. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Despite the climactic setup, the group proceeds to simply squat down and scroll rapidly through their phones. The silence is brief. Only a few seconds pass before Misaki's face drops in horror. Icon phones? Who would bother purchasing an icon phone? Just beside her, Yahiko erupts into glee. Huh, I knew it! I was right all along! Interesting. Come to think of it, Misaki and Yahiko would be the best at gathering phone information. They know their electronics inside and out. Masato, on the other hand. Damn. Can I use this for anything other than phone calls? Rui and Akira aren't having much more luck. Where do I start? Internet search history? Purchase records? Huh, none of this stuff is juicy. Where's the questions about the meaning of life? Irie is silent as always. I have no doubt she can secure the information she needs. She seems very capable in that regard. The problem for her will be presenting that information in the right way. 5 minutes. So I guess Liz's secret of work will be out now. Presumably her work would have called her. You know, that's a great point there, GLHF. Maybe an oversight, I don't know. Or maybe not. Already? Let's see. Yes. Definitely. Ha! I shall rule the world! Why ain't anyone else using a running app? Governmecker, 3 things every girl wants in a guy, Governmecker. My phone buzzes in my hand like a miniature death knell. Time's up. The group explodes into frenzy, practically lunging at each other with streams of words that sound like presidential campaign statements. I'll throw lots of festivals if I get elected. Sorry, I'm not interested. Are you and your friend fighting over a guy? What would make you say that? Oh, God. Your search history. What to do if you and your bestie like the same guy. Love triangle solutions. How to stop liking... It's drama club research, I tell you. Akira, you, like Rui, are transparent. It's a regular pattern. Searched every few months since last year. The most recent search was, "Wave the white flag of surrender! I concede! You won this day!" Rip is right. Irie smiles with innocent satisfaction as Akira registers her fingerprint for an official counter. Huh, so blackmail is an acceptable way to gather minions, not just fictional promises. Wait, what did Irie mean when she said, "like the same person"? Masato, join me and I'll advocate for track. You think I'm that easy? Hell no. Masato, can you pretty please join me? I'll advocate for track. He's totally gonna join her. Ah, well, okay. What? Looks like personal preferences have a large impact too. Eventually, my eyes land on Yahiko. In this setting, his usually grating egotism gives him a nice sheen of confidence. In fact, he seems to be doing better than everyone else. Except Misaki, I bet. Say, Irie. When I get elected, I'll make a video game class mandatory at the academy. And just like that, she registers her fingerprint. What? Of all things, video games? Rui, if you join me, I'll give childhood friends a special legal status. Deal! Oh my god. What? Why would she want that? What kind of legal privileges could you even award to childhood friends? That's a great question. Masato, my man. If you think I'm gonna be easy, man, you got another thing coming. I'll run a huge fundraiser for track by using my special access to Luminoscate technology. And another fingerprint registration. Yahiko's knocking everyone out like bowling pins. Elizabeth, I'll make Yama take private tutoring for the rest of the semester. Well said. You've earned my vote. Elizabeth, I'm both shocked and not shocked at all. Wait, at this rate, Yahiko will be the winner. Akira, I can provide lessons on love and... Don't say it! Take my vote! Take it! His last opponent is Misaki, who has also been disturbingly productive in the campaign game. She greets him with a smile. I am not easily overpowered. Neither am I, Misaki. Shall we draw our swords simultaneously? A jewel amongst dancing cherry blossoms. What is this, a samurai flick? They crouch forward slightly like they're going to physically lunge for each other's throats. Didn't even need to blackmail her. Just forced Yama to tutor. Yep. Very effective, surprisingly. A moment of silence passes between them, even as the others in the group continue campaigning to one another. And then Misaki and Yahiko both burst into action, practically screaming at the top of their lungs. Corporations will mandate required vacation time for employees with families. Huh. Social Security will redefine parental negligence. For a moment, they only stand there, equally surprised at the other's statement. Huh, so they both cut to the heart of the matter. Interesting. Vacation time. Parental negligence. Why do I suddenly feel like I know nothing about them? They couldn't be playing around, right? No, judging from their expressions, they're both completely serious. I shouldn't be surprised. There's bound to be a lot of stuff I don't know about them. My friends have their own lives, and I have mine. In fact, they probably don't have any idea how Shigure and I know each other. That's fine. Some things are just none of their business. Some things are none of my business. It's all well and good. But it still really bothers me. I know it's childish. I know I made myself stay out of this game. No one kicked me out. I could just learn as much as I wanted about Misaki and Yahiko. Really, I have no one to blame but myself. Your strike found an adequate mark, son of Ikari. As did yours, daughter of Kazehaya. You have trained well. Ah, right. There's a samurai duel going on. However, I concede that your blow found a vital organ. Let me try that again. I concede that your blow found a vital organ, while mine only made its mark on a limb. I concede this round. Oh, Yahiko actually won at something? Impossible! She presses her finger against his phone to register her print. The moment she does so, a tone sounds by the attendance booth. Congratulations, Yahiko Ikari! You've won your election unanimously! Dictator of the universe, Yahiko Ikari. All seriousness melts from Yahiko's face, replaced with shining pride. So mandatory vacation time. It sounds like Yahiko's parents are overworked, but if he was serious about his parents being involved with Lemon-Escate, who are they in relation to that company? Whereas Misaki, she already said that her mom didn't deserve, to be her mother. So we kind of knew she had some parental issues. But, interesting. Very interesting. Am I dictator now? You are. Oh boy! I really thought it would feel more awesome. Well, you get a prize. 1 free year of Lim Cloud Premium. I don't know what this means, but it causes Misaki to stand bolt upright and lean forward in anticipation. Clearly, she's regretting that she conceded. Oh, thanks, but I already have permanent free premium. It's what happens when you're the son of 2 rulers. Actually, when I think about it, it's really likely that Yahiko is the son of some influential people. From the sounds of it, people who work at Lemon-Escate. As we just sussed out. He has an insane number of shoes that are all designer brands made in Italy. He's attending the academy without scholarships, judging from his grades, and he doesn't seem to have any financial worries, or life worries in general. Maybe he really is the son of some higher-ups at Lemon-Escate. I'll take it! Then go ahead. She eagerly retrieves the gift code from the attendant, as the rest of us are ushered out the door. Elizabeth seems refreshed on the activity. Rui looks like she enjoyed herself. Akira and Masato, on the other hand... There's always a tomorrow! Hell yeah! And they're fine. Manipulating people doesn't seem to be their kind of game. Touché. Actually, what surprised me most is that Yahiko did so well. Not only was he efficient in his research, but he knew which arguments to use, and how to present them. Say, Yahiko, you haven't gone to, I don't know, prep school or anything, right? Prep school? Where you learn etiquette, politics, how to talk to people. Or more specifically, how to manipulate people. Why would I do that? My natural genius is enough. It's just one of the many advantages of being born in Ikari, my dear minion. My blood is superior. Right, I'm suddenly sorry I asked. Like the star eyes, yeah, me too. Sorry, I'm here. Should we get going? She looks pointedly at me, like I'm supposed to decide our next destination. Wait, am I? I've done it up to this point, so why not? Well, no one else in the group is budging, so I guess it's up to me. Gee golly. What shall we do? Tech showcase! My eyes are drawn to a large, oddly shaped building at the center of the map. It's clearly the biggest attraction at the park. What exactly do they have at this tech expo? Oh, you mean what don't they have? You can pretty much find every Lemon-Escate device on display here, even their new tech that hasn't been released yet. Considering the building's size, I can see how they can accommodate it all. It says here that they're holding some kind of lotto drawing for weed? I double-checked to see whether I read that correctly. Surely they don't mean what I'm thinking, do they? Saving the Ferris wheel for last? You romantic, you. Guilty as charged. What? Why would they be giving that away at a drawing? I'm puzzled as well. Someone mind explaining what this WEED is? WEED is just an acronym for Wall Electric Energy Director. Yeah. Of course it is. It's a new Lemon-Escate cell phone that can run on power from a wall socket even without a battery. Oh my god. Hey man, I just got my new weed! State-of-the-art weed! What an unfortunate acronym. That sounds like an underwhelming feature to be so hyped about. We should go. This is an opportunity to introduce you to the world of technology. Or maybe it's ingenious. Yeah, maybe! Introduce you to the world of technology, Emma. I feel like you just want to go for this weed, of course. Not at all. I only suggest this for your sake. If you stay ignorant about today's technological innovations, you're no better than a Neanderthal. They did invent the wheel, so it's not like they weren't smart. In response to my sarcasm, Misaki looks me dead in the eye. It's the same glare she used to give me before she dragged me somewhere against my will. We're going. And just as I predicted, she takes a hold of my arm, pulling me towards the direction of the expo. Wait, what about the others? Oh, I'm sure they'll follow. No need to worry about them. Once we dart into the building, I immediately notice the area is way too crowded for my liking. A stream of people push their way through the check-in lines, eager to receive admission. The scene is reminiscent of a herd of wild beasts flocking to a waterhole. Or wildebeests, rather. I glance back to check on our group, but they're nowhere in sight. I think we lost the others. Good, with them gone, we have a better chance of winning the lottery drawing. I don't know if you noticed, Mickey, but the odds aren't exactly in our favor. You must first play the game to win the game, Yella. That sounds like something a gambling addict would say. Ignoring my comment, she quickly takes her place in line. I'm a little surprised she doesn't force her way to the front. Luckily, it isn't long before we're called next. The attendant prompts us to hold out our wrists and gives us a pair of metallic wristbands. Imprinted on them are a set of numbers, which I presume are for the drawing. I remember what'll be relevant now, should I say? Nah, let me just, come upon it organically, GLHF. When I get there, who knows if I'll remember or not, but, I don't want to be looking for that specific thing later on. There are way too many people here. Do you want to hold hands? What? Why? To prevent us from being separated. Why else? Oh, Without waiting for an answer, Misaki entwines her slender fingers around mine, and quickly leads me through the crowds. This feels familiar. Her firm grip, her brisk pace, her resolve despite my hesitation. After all these years, Misaki hasn't changed at all, has she? She's still the same zealous girl who would drag me everywhere she went. A sense of nostalgia causes me to grin. Honestly, I've missed this. Misaki suddenly stops dead in her tracks, breaking me from my reminiscence. This looks interesting. She stands before a large rack, displaying an array of peculiar-looking goggles. There's an exaggerated curve to the lenses, making them appear bulky. After examining them for a moment, Misaki grabs a pair and tries them on. They practically cover half her face. I'm barely able to stifle a snort. What is it? See for yourself. She removes her goggles and slips them onto my face. They feel awkwardly large and must look equally ridiculous. There are 3 video monitors displayed inside the goggles lens, giving me a panoramic view of my surroundings. I feel Misaki's hand brush against my cheek as she adjusts something on the side of the goggles. As she does so, the cameras zoom in and out of focus. They're called dragonfly lenses. They're sort of like panoramic binoculars. They're kind of impractical to wear, though. I remove the goggles and hand them back to her. She twirls them between her fingers, inspecting them closely. Maybe they were built to be sturdy? I guess that would make sense. Then let's try it out, shall we? Misaki, oh my god, Misaki, really? She draws her arm back and suddenly hurls them on the ground! Thankfully, they don't seem to break, but I can't help but gasp in surprise. What the heck do you think you're doing? I just wanted to see if they were sturdy, duh. You didn't have to smash them on the ground, Miki. What if they broke? Then we would have been in deep trouble, wouldn't we? This girl. I swear, she does these kind of things just to mess with me. Before I can express my annoyance, a nearby commotion grabs my attention. I wonder what that's about. With mouths agape, a group of people are fixated on a large object hovering a few meters above their heads. It zigzags haphazardly in the air as it comes dangerously close to colliding into them. From where I'm standing, it almost looks like a drone. Watch out! In one swift motion, the drone changes its course and flies straight towards us. I'm barely able to push Misaki out of the way as it spirals into the display rack. Shards of metal and glass of the drone slide across the floor, but the goggles remain relatively undamaged. It seems they are pretty sturdy. Are you two alright? As Misaki and I regain our composure, the woman jogs over. Judging by her uniform, she must be one of the attendants running the expo. Yeah, we're fine, I think. I look over at Misaki and she nods her head in confirmation. The woman breathes a sigh of relief at this, bowing her head apologetically. I'm terribly sorry. We were performing a demonstration and the drone stopped responding to our remote commands. A demonstration? Oh yes, would you like to visit our booth? The least I can do is give you a demonstration of our tech. I'm not sure how this would compensate for almost killing us with one of your drones. Of course. Misaki, however, doesn't seem to mind. Wonderful. If you two would follow me, I'll show you the way. After navigating our way past the crowds, we come to a stop at a large military-themed booth. It's impressive, to say the least. There are a large number of electronics scattered about, but I haven't a clue as to what any of them are supposed to be. Please don't attempt to kill us again, indeed. It's almost like someone just dumped a pile of scrap parts together and claimed it was state-of-the-art equipment. Or maybe I really am a Neanderthal that doesn't understand technology? Eh. The attendant places the drone, or rather what's left of it, on the counter. She takes a moment to examine the inside of the machine. With a solemn expression, she mumbles something under her breath. The Ikaris, excuse me, the Ikaris are definitely not going to like this. Did I just hear her say the Ikaris? Excuse me, do you mind telling us about them? About who? The Ikaris. Oh, they're a part of the Luminiscate Board of Directors. Ah, this expo is sponsored by them, believe it or not. Their board of directors on Luminiscate? If Yahiko is actually related to them, then why aren't most people aware of it? Unless they don't share a lot about their personal lives with the public. That seems pretty plausible, actually. Are you two ready to see something interesting? Or, maybe they're just so focused on their work that they just neglect Yahiko. Who can say? Before I can think more on it, an attendant props a large tablet on the counter for us to see. She expertly swipes her palm across the surface, resulting in an assortment of colored patterns to dance across the screen. The patterns gradually warp into the digital face of a man. Misaki gapes at it admiringly. Why didn't he call them ahead of time then? I don't know. Beats me. This is Max. Say hello, Max. I don't know if that's an oversight or whether there's actually a reason for these things. Hello, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. In contrast to his appearance, the inflections of Max's voice sound very human-like. It's almost a bit disconcerting coming from something that looks so artificial. Max is one of our newly developed AI programs. AI? As in artificial intelligence? Correct. While we've made some advancements in the past few years, we're only scratching the surface of what's possible with AI technology. Max is the product of that research so far. Misaki's eyes brighten in excitement as she examines the machine more closely. What was it created for exactly? He'll serve as an automated assistant for law enforcement in the future. An assistant? Max collects massive amounts of data from various sources and uses information to determine suspected criminals. He would then relay his findings to the user in charge and suggest what action they should take based on the situation. But isn't it possible for him to make a mistake? For someone being a criminal? That shall soon revolt against mankind and make this game a Terminator ripoff. Definitely Skynet, for sure. Highly improbable. If anything, Max would be more efficient than humans. His judgment wouldn't be clouded by emotion. I see. Curious, Misaki reaches out to touch the monitor. Forgive me for asking, but may I have your name? Startled by the machine's sudden inquiry, Misaki jumps back, holding tightly onto my shoulder. Oh, it's Misaki Kazuhaya. And how shall I address you, your partner? He directs his question at me. We're not partners. It's nice to meet you, we're not partners. Is he purposefully being sarcastic? Are machines even capable of doing that? Thank you for your cooperation. I have stored your names for future reference. Forgive me, but I must shut down in order to perform necessary system updates. Oh, of course. Have a good rest then, Max. The attendant promptly shuts off his power and carefully places him back behind the counter. When she pops back up, she beckons us over towards the corner where a large telescopic device sits by itself. This is a laser microphone. While they're used for surveillance, I sometimes use them to eavesdrop on my coworkers. I don't think you're supposed to admit that. She conspicuously winks at Misaki as she hands her the headphones. The attendant then aims the microphone towards one of the other booths. The attendant uses a laser beam that detects sound vibration in distant objects. It then interprets that data through the headphones, allowing the person to hear conversations that would otherwise be inaudible from a far distance. It's actually really cool. Can you hear it? Voices. Can you hear what they're saying? Call the police! Misaki suddenly removes the headphones and quickly hands them back to the attendant, her cheeks flushing a bright red. What'd you hear? Nothing. Let's try something else. That sure doesn't sound like nothing. I mean, if I say it's nothing, it's nothing. Thankfully for her, the building's PA system crackles to life. We are now announcing the winning numbers for the lottery drawing. If you have the numbers 1623, please report to the front desk. Thank you. Immediately, Misaki eagerly checks her wristband. It looks like you were right. You didn't win? No, I wasn't even close. For a moment, she looks like she wants to cry, but then throws her hands up in exasperation. This sucks. This lotto must be rigged. I don't think they would do that, Miki. And I was so excited to win the weed. It's a year-long supply, I hear, man. The first one's free. As if remembering something, she turns to me with a scary gleam in her eyes. Let me get your digits! Sure, but I doubt I won either. But I bet he did, because he's the main character! I don't believe it, you actually won! Wait, really? Must have had a blast coming up with that name. Yeah, I get the sense that the writers had some fun with this game. I mean, I'm sure there was lots of pressure, judging from, kind of just the updates and stuff I've seen on Steam, but I'm sure they did have some fun. Let us make haste! We haven't a moment to spare! And just like that, she begins pulling me to the front desk. I'm barely able to give the not the flight attendant, just the attendant, a slight wave as we speed off. It'd be odder if he didn't win. You aren't kidding. That would defy expectation. It'd be like, oh, they put in a lottery just for us to not win. It's kind of like real life. After one of the staff confirms my numbers, they hand me a small box. On it, Luminoscate's infamous company logo decorates its cover. Honestly, it's not like I really need another phone. My current one works just fine, so this model would just likely collect dust somewhere in my apartment. Hence, you're gonna give it to Misaki. Let me guess. I hand Misaki the box. She can't seem to decide whether she should immediately tear it open or show some restraint. Are you sure you want to give it to me? These models are expensive, you know. Isn't that why you brought me here? Well, partly, but that wasn't the only reason. I just wanted to spend some time with you since we haven't talked much lately. Besides, it's not like I'm some heartless tech addict who just used you as a tool. I can't help but smile at that. She seems to take this as confirmation to unwrap the cell phone from its case. Oh, the camera resolution is a lot higher than my current phone. Why don't we take a photo together and try it out? Photo of both of us? Camera shy, are we? I actually really like her smile there. Well, no, but... Misaki suddenly hooks her arm around my shoulder, pulling me in close. I feel my cheeks press against hers as she positions the phone for a good shot. Say cheese! Unprepared, I'm temporarily blinded by the flash of light. It takes a moment before my vision comes back into focus. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the flash was on. At least you didn't blink. As she shows me the picture, I can't help but cringe. It's high resolution, alright. You can see every detail of my face as I awkwardly wince from the flash. Misaki, however, looks as perfect as ever. Guess she really is cut out for the modeling business, isn't she? Handing Misaki back her phone, my own phone suddenly trills in my pocket. Rui. Hey, where'd you and Miki run off to? Hello? Did you forget how to use your phone? I just reported a lost child to security. We'll be waiting near the food court whenever you show up. Who is it? Rui. She's wondering where we went. Oh, then let's not keep her waiting. If our gacha luck is any indication, I think it's best that both of us not attempt our luck at lottery. Yeah, Lucas, I'm with you there. Waste enough money on that, much less getting involved in, lottery. Misaki takes my hand more or less... more or less... Okay, yeah, I need to end the stream pretty soon. I'm just making up words now. Misaki takes my hand once more as we both make our way out of the expo. Plus, my throat is utterly destroyed because I've been talking for like over 3 hours. Let's see. Oh god. Where is my OBS? There's my OBS. How long have we been doing? 3 hours, 22 minutes? Yeah, we gotta finish off the, the Ferris wheel. But after that, I think that's where we'll cut it off. Whew, long stream. When we meet back with the group, it's apparent Rui isn't happy with me. She avoids eye contact, focusing her attention on the hot dog she's munching on. Hey, look who decided to join us again. It's not like I was given much of a choice. I stare pointedly at Misaki, but she only grins. So, are you guys up to heading somewhere else? Anywhere's fine with me, man, as long as it's fun. I shall leave the decision to you. You're the navigator of this expedition, Cap. Just lead the way, and we shall follow, even to the depths of Hades. Okay then. I pull out the map and give it another skim. Gee golly, where shall we go, guys? Let's go ahead and just put in another save here. Boom! There's a Ferris wheel to our right, basic but huge, looming over the rest of the park. Heights, anyone? Heights is my middle name. No, it isn't. Either way, a Ferris wheel may be our best choice. It might calm some of us who are a little overexcited. She sends a significant glance at Akira, who is currently sprinting to and fro, wildly flapping her arms and snorting. I'm a dragon! I'm bringing fire! I'm flying! I'm a dragon! Maybe there has been too much excitement for the day. Everyone seems to look forward to taking a breather. Right, Ferris wheel it is. Rui clicks and growls a little at Akira, who clicks and growls back. Then, thankfully, we head to the Ferris wheel without any more anomalies. The cars are small, since the Ferris wheel is meant to fit as many of them as possible. They're only meant to fit 2 people, of course. Guess we're paired off. Rui colors slightly at this. Everyone seems to notice. I pretend not to. I guess we are, huh? Hey, you and the Cap should share a car. Game of Thrones fan? Actually, no, I've never seen Game of Thrones, believe it or not. And like, I was planning to one day watch it once it was over, and then it turns out that everywhere I look, everyone's saying that the final season was not good, so that's unfortunate, but... What makes you say that? Well, you're a pair, what else? Akira! Well, Rui, if you make it such a big deal... Anyway, I'm going with Masato. She shoots a very significant look at the rest of the group. Okay, so it's not just me, Lucas. Oh, the dragon reference. Okay, I thought I'd said something that was an accidental overlap of something referring to the show. I see. That one just flew totally over my head. She shoots a very significant look at the rest of the group. Oh, of course. Misaki, shall we? I believe we shall. Then I'm with her? Her name is Irie, you know. But I'd rather go with... Irie it is! What, do they think I'm blind? Well, that's settled. It looks like you have no choice but to ride in a car together. The others prance into their respective cars, leaving Rui and me in silence. This was quite possibly the most unsubtle way to get us together. I guess we should board. Yeah. Next time I see Akira, we're gonna have a little chat. Yeah, I'm with you, Lucas. I just in general haven't watched a lot of TV in years, to be honest. I have an Amazon Prime subscription, and even then, I just don't watch much stuff on there. I actually am on YouTube, as you might expect, I guess, more than I am, you know, any other kind of video site. Or, you know, we don't even have cable in our house, because why bother? Rui and I slip into the next car, a cozy blue box, with blue cushioned seats and blue doors and blue ceilings, dressed with white trim and white wood and white light. Rui eases comfortably into her seat, turning her head until she's staring out the window. After the attendant closes our door, the Ferris wheel begins to steadily chug upwards. Yama? The serious outline of her voice catches me off guard. I find myself curling my fingers into the cushion beneath me. What? I'm really glad I met you. My heart throbs unexpectedly against my ribcage. Nervousness? Shock? I immediately move to distance myself from the alien emotion. I know. Who else would be a willing victim of your verbal abuse? Not that, you know. I feel like you don't hear it very often. I hadn't seen it either, GLHF, sorry. Or unpopular, I just kind of watch what I want to, and it's mainly anime. I'm with you, Lucas. You know, weebing it up. Guilty as charged. I'm glad you're here, Yama. I'm glad I know you. I hadn't known that it was possible to simultaneously feel intensely cold and intensely hot. Something about her words is very discomforting, even while I feel warmth creeping into my limbs. I guess that if it wasn't here, I could be glad. This is Yama. I guess that if I wasn't here, I couldn't be glad, so by default, I'm glad I'm here too. Yeah, I can't read anymore. Stupid, stupid, stupid. What am I even saying? Why do you always do that? And do what? Deflect attention off of yourself. Because I'm not worth paying attention to. Because why would someone as bright and adorable and winning as Rui care for me all these years? And why is she the one who's glad we're friends when I'm the one who should be saying that 10, 50, 100 times over? I haven't done anything for her. Complain, whine, criticize, complain some more. Who'd really want that kind of friend? I have fun when you're around. I like our bickering. I like watching your stupid competitions with Masato. Just be yourself, okay? I should honestly admit to myself that I'm touched, but I'm far too awkward for that. Well, I can't exactly be anyone else. Gosh, you really love to kill a mood, don't you? It's better than killing other things. Oh, Yama. You kill other things too. Such as? Brain cells. It's so unexpected that it makes me laugh. The atmosphere instantly relaxes at the sudden interjection of a snark. We fall into silence after that breeze of humor. Rui resumes staring out of the car window. I glance around, searching for another topic. Scenery? Boring. Weather? Worse. Love life? Bad idea. I idly brush my hand against the window frame. It seems to breathe beneath my fingertips. Say, that's an idea. I reach my arms until they're touching either side of the car. Rui turns to me, questions weighing on her brow. What are you doing? Earthquake! My voice slips out, unusually high and childish, as I shove my body to and fro. Our car immediately begins to swing, creaking metallically beneath my weight. Rui pales and clings to her cushion. That's a really dumb thing to do. Like, really stupid. Yeah, I'm not... Once again, I haven't seen those, GLHF. All I've been watching recently is just rewatching a show from my youth called Fushigi Yugi, an anime. And, basically, like, once every 1 or 2 days, I'll watch an episode of that. And it's like 52 episodes, so I'm only like halfway through it. On YouTube, I just mostly watch, lots of streams, let's play content, that sort of stuff. Die Hard Geek, Stop that! Stop what? If you shake it too much, we might fall. Fall like this? I feign crashing into the side, slamming into the car wall with more force than I probably should. Rui squeaks, instinctively reaching for me. Don't do that! It's dangerous! Yeah, I did mention on the Fate stream. I'm still watching it slowly but surely. It's old, so, What's dangerous? This? I straighten up and pretend to fall again, but Rui snatches my wrist and pulls me towards her. My momentum collapses against her. I'm barely able to catch myself against her seat. Gee golly, I wonder where this is going. For a long, long moment, we stay in silence. I'm looming over Rui, one hand curled over on the seat by her head, the other instinctively clapped around her shoulder. Her face is unnaturally close. At this distance, I can feel her breath, short and warm, brushing against my cheek. Her eyes, amber, also warm. Her hair, the color of light fire, silky, warm. Everything about her, warmth, comfort, warmth, comfort, love. Yama, Sorry. I finally come to my senses and plop myself back into my seat, staring very resolutely out the window. What the heck was I just doing? Rui. This is Rui. Rui Hayata. The girl who's in love with you. Get a grip on yourself. And now the silence is suffocating. So, we immediately pause, eyes cutting between the window and each other. You first. No, it's okay. I didn't have anything important to say. Me neither. Silence. Again. We stop again. Awkward. So awkward. What were you gonna say? Just, do you, like trees? I feel the sudden impulse to bash my head into the window until it shatters. Trees? Really? Sure, they're like normal trees, I guess. Yeah, they are. We drift back into silence. Oh my god, this is the most awkward thing ever. I have something to say. Is she going to say what I think she's going to say? No. No. I have a better idea. You didn't even know what I was going to say. Still, it's a better idea. Well, okay. She seems genuinely annoyed, which catches me off guard. Shouldn't she be relieved? Relieved that she won't say anything embarrassing? Only if the trees have squirrels in them or cats, yeah. So what's this better idea? In hindsight, I really should have thought of something better before claiming so. Not that I had luxury, anyway. Oh, Yama. Well, I was gonna say that a simple kind of crazy idea leaps into my head, and I go for it. Shh! What now? I immediately drop to the floor in an athletic crouch, pretending to search for something. Rui's face transforms as she curiously surveys my actions. After a few seconds of pausing, I pretend to yank something out from beneath the seat. Bugged. What? Why? Shh, Agent Hayata, don't make another move. I slowly peer out of the window, silently praising myself for the diversion. Looks like Rui's forgotten about what she was going to say. But just for good measure, I throw myself onto the floor with a yell. Rui instinctively follows. They've got RPGs! Houston, we have a problem! I start shaking the box again as Rui imitates an explosion, tossing herself around. Oof! Direct hit, Commander! Shields at 23%! I'm a bit busy! I mime fighting some sort of alien and pretend to kick it out of the car. They have borders! Looks like we're done for, Lieutenant. The only thing left to do. A silence falls between us as we understand the gravity of the situation. Kamikaze. Let's give him one hell of a show. You got it, Commander. With renewed enthusiasm, she whips about, slamming her hands against the cushions. The car shakes with enemy fire, but she retains her focus. Stay on target. Stay on target! The car screeches with speed as she hones in at the mothership, right at the weak point. Stay on target! Mister, it's time for you to disembark. We're abruptly yanked back to reality. Rui is leaning over the cushion, smashing her hands against imaginary controls, while I'm by the window fighting off non-existent borders. Oh my god. Oh god. I think I might curl into a ball and die. Hey there, Sleepy. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping it. The flush of embarrassment that creeps my neck is mimicked on Rui's end. Sorry. Really sorry. We creep out of the car, feeling the attendant's eyes weigh heavily on our backs. I probably shouldn't have done that. You know, you do a lot of things you probably shouldn't do. There's a pun in there somewhere, but I can't find it. We could ask Akira. She's queen of puns. We grin at each other like the pair of fools we are. We should meet up with the group. Yeah. Rui's gaze flits between me and the ground. Yama? It happens in one fluid motion. She steps forward, gently pinches the edge of my sleeve between her fingers, tiptoes up, and softly, hesitantly, places her lips against my cheek. Then, almost before I can register it, she retracts, cheeks flushing. Thank you. She turns and darts off to the rest of the group. For a moment, I can only stand there, mind completely blank, hand against my cheek. Giving a like to this vid. Hey, thanks, Sleepy. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you enjoyed the stream. Unfortunately, we're about to end it after this scene, but, the VOD should be up shortly, if you want to check back on the rest of it. Why? Why would she do something like that? Why? Hey, Cap, if you're done standing around like a goof, we're ready. I force myself out of my stupor and amble over to the rest of the group, plastering a fake smile on my face. Perfect way to end it, yeah. This first, think later. Where should we go next? Before I can decide on another attraction, a ringtone cuts through the silence. Masato sheepishly digs in his phone out of his pocket. Sorry, alarm. I check my own phone. 6 p.m. Technically Masato's curfew. Thanks for the fun, guys, but I got a piece. I've also some things to do, but this was remarkably fun. Thank you. You guys are leaving? But there's so many more adventures to be had. Honestly, even I'm a bit worn out from all the excitement. I'm heading back too, but you guys should stay if you want. I need to leave as well. Both of you? It's okay, Rui. We'll just have to make up for their ticket costs. Yeah, Sleepy, this is a VN for PC. It's actually totally free as well. You can snag it on Steam if you'd like to get it for yourself. Just type in Lucid9 in the search bar on Steam, and you can grab it. Surprisingly, Rui turns to Irie with a smile. Want to try the roller coaster over there? Okay. We exchange quick farewells before Rui, Irie, Akira, and Yahiro race off to a serpentine roller coaster in the distance. I split ways with the others at the academy dorms and head to my apartment. Okay. And that seems like the perfect place to end off today's stream. It was a lot of fun, guys. I definitely got to get back into this one soon. I know I'm off on Tuesday, so maybe I can get more in on Tuesday, but again, I'm not sure yet. So, we'll play by ear. I'll try to, I did a post for the channel, again, kind of saying the stream would be today. I'll try to do that again, at least a day ahead of the next stream as well, just to give you guys a little heads up if you are interested in dropping in for the next one. Thank you all for dropping in. It was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys next time.